All right. Sorry about that, everyone. I think I'm streaming now. I should be on the air. Hopefully, coming through on the interwebs, on the Ethernet cable straight to your computer. Hopefully. Yeah, I kind of didn't realize what time it was there. Like, oh yeah, I did have it for 7, didn't I? Let me just make sure I am technically online right now. It's always hard to tell because it's always a delay when I try to check it on my phone. For some reason. Yes, we are live. Okay, good. Yay. All right. No, I'm sorry about that. It's just I was editing a video and I was almost done. I'm like, yes, all set to go. And I look at the time and it's like 7:04, and I'm like, oh fuck. Got lost in the editing sauce, I guess. I don't know. But hold on, let me bring that out of studio mode and switch over. Alright. So this is the final part for the whole interview, me going over this interview thing. It's been a little while. I realize it's been a little while. But yeah, parts 1 and 2 are already up on my channel. They've been up for a while, like I said. And I just kind of forgot about it for a while because there's been a lot of like crazy bullshit going on with DSP, as always. You know how it goes. So I kind of just left it alone. I also want to get back to I want to get back into finishing that watching that This Is How You Don't Play of Final Fantasy 15 also. So I might finish that someday also, but for now I'm just going to finish this one. Yeah. So I don't yeah, so I think last time we left off when Keemstar had just gotten back onto the podcast here, or just jumped on the podcast. So this will be the final part, and without much further ado, hopefully all the levels are good and it's not too loud for you, and we'll finish this thing.
And being successful in this platform, because I understand this business very, very well. And even though you have that hate, you know, they are viewers. They
Shout
are your
out
customers.
for hate.
The detractors are your customers. The haters are your customers. And they're more loyal than the people that give you money, that donate on your stream.
It's true.
The people that hate you are way
that you're
more
talking
loyal.
about. That's like, you can't pay for that shit.
I mean, look at how many people are here. 2,500 people are here. It's just, it's, you have a legitimate fan base. Those haters, those people that don't like you are your fans. And I wanted to solve this issue for not just you, but Wings and Boogie. I looked at all of you guys, you're lolcows, right? You have more haters than
no, I'm not. Don't call me a lolcow.
Right?
Look how,
but really,
look how upset
he
gets. Like
they are all
face
fans.
gets
They're
when
all
he gets
obsessed with you and watching
like,
your content nonstop.
Yeah.
The solution
so
really is to get the three of you to do a podcast. All right. Those haters are going to watch. They're going to absolutely love that these three guys have come together to make content. Now, between the three of you, you guys don't have the business sense to like really figure this out and
Especially
make this thing
Phil.
actually happen. But I do. All right. And you guys don't even understand how valuable you are as individuals, as entertainers, because you look at the numbers and you're looking at everything and like, oh, well, I've fallen off. And, you know, that's the mindset that you have, right? But I have a different mindset for each and one of you, that you guys are amazing.
Why does it keep stuttering like that, though?
Not
I mean,
in the way
it's kind of loaded
that you want to be, right? You're lolcows, but there's so much value by putting the three of you together.
No drop frames or anything.
You know, each one of you would own 25% of this podcast. All right. We never got to have this conversation, so I do want to have it now, even though I know you're not going to do it. All right. I would also own 25%. I would do the business aspect of it. I've had many success selling podcasts, to exclusive deals with Spotify and other companies, multi-million-dollar deals.
Look how much he's
all right? I wanted
shaking
to put the
around
three of
too.
you
Like
together
everyone else is
for this
basically
show.
sitting
I would do
still.
the business side
And
of the things.
DSP's just
And I
squirming because
knew
he
that
doesn't like talking to him at
all
all.
three
He
of you would be in a
really hates
situation where you
Team.
didn't really trust
For
me,
no
or
real
you're like,
good reason,
I don't know if
honestly,
this is
either.
going to work, and you'd have a lot of doubts. So
Because
I
he
was just gonna
legitimately
take my
thinks he's
own
better
money
than Keem, and that's like just so
take
fucking silly.
$150,000, give you each.
Like I'm
just to
not the
start
biggest
off
Keem
before we
fan
even
either,
filmed an
but
episode, 50
I admit he
grand
was
up front
successful.
to let you know that I was serious.
I
and
would have taken the
believe in
damn
this
deal.
concept
I don't like him
and
that
this
much, but
idea.
still.
Now, I call Boogie first. I instantly get on the phone with Boogie. All right. He loves the idea. He understands it. He gets it. He reaches out to Wings. Wings is down. And now it's time to talk to DSP. Boogie.
Yeah, good luck talking to DSP. I'm just going to pause it for a second and let it buffer because it keeps like, I don't know, it keeps like buffering on me or something. So, not full on buffering, but it keeps like pausing. And it's not on my stream end because, yeah. I don't want to just stay paused forever. So, come on, buffer. Whatever.
The way I understand it, called you, contacted you, and told you what was going on, right?
Yeah, but I didn't really
He
listen.
DM'd me on Twitter, and we had a brief conversation back and forth in DMs.
And he told you that I wanted to do a podcast with the three of you, right?
Yes, I had no idea that's what you were trying to contact me about. Because
But he just told
we
you,
never
so was
talked,
it yes
but
or
he said that
no?
there was this idea for a
Boogie
podcast, right?
supposedly told you
So
he
you
wanted to
did
do a
know.
podcast.
So Boogie told you or didn't tell you?
Boogie told me that he and Wings had spoken to Keem, and that Keem wanted to do a podcast with all three of us. No money or anything was discussed. He just say, you know.
So what? You still knew
wants
he
to
wanted to do a podcast with
I
y'all.
didn't know that's what Keem was trying to reach out to me. I said maybe that's what it was. I didn't know.
Why else would
Focus.
Keem be reaching out to you?
Phil, hearing this and hearing the business opportunity that was laid, I don't even know if it's still there or not, but what are your thoughts right now, given what Keem has said to you?
Thoughts? Like,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are you
just
feeling?
as he's laid this out, like lay out your feelings based on what Keemstar has laid out for you.
Keem's a fucking idiot.
I
I'm not gonna
have
do that.
absolutely no problem doing anything with Boogie or Wings. In fact, you know, I had the conversation with Boogie back and forth a little bit more later in the year. Would he be interested in maybe doing a podcast with me or me being on his show or whatever? You know, whatever it may be. These guys, you know, I did a react about Wings last year about his documentary. You know, that me doing a collab with them, just doing a fun podcast is not out of the question for the future.
But your issue is with Keemstar and his business principles.
Correct.
Okay, so understand. So even if there's
At
an
least he
opportunity
has
for you
business
to
principles,
remove
unlike Phil, who
yourself
doesn't
from
even know his own
level one
expenses.
and potentially have an opportunity further down the line to potentially sell the podcast to something and put 50 grand in your pocket initially, that's a 100% no-go for you.
Oh man. See, I didn't know you put me on a spot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what we
Because
do. That's an
this is a-
interview. Right?
This is a discussion that cannot be just made by me. It has to be made by my wife. You know, we have to talk.
Oh
about
my
it 'cause
god.
this
No,
is
it
a discussion
doesn't.
we have
That's
here.
no.
You know,
Can't-
sorry, Keem. Can I criticize you fairly if I'm reasonable and don't, you know, not under the belt? Can I be honest about you?
Sure. You can say whatever you want about me.
Sure.
But I just want to represent how I feel about the situation. I'm not done, but go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Keem, you are someone who, when you look at your history on the internet, it's very interesting. And I'm actually
See, everything
damn
he's
I'm
about to
impressed with what
say
you've done.
can be
You know what
turned
I'm
on
saying?
him.
Like, I watched
Like,
a documentary about you.
even
last
more.
year. You started off trolling people in Halo. I mean, holy shit. And you turned that into an empire of money on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's so admirable.
Oh, and he's
And if
going to suck
anything,
his dick
one of the
first,
things you
though.
absolutely
Even though
need to
he
be
talks
praised
shit
for
about
is
him all the time.
determination. You were shut down time after time. False copyright strikes, real takedown requests, all kinds of shit. People wanted you off the net, right? You're still there. You never gave up. Damn,
Sounds
that's
a little
success story.
jealous
That's
to
Still,
me.
it sounds familiar, dude.
Yeah.
I guess.
It literally sounds like you.
Exactly.
I don't
It's
really
true.
Think about it like that.
We just heard your story, and it is. Craig's
it's just the
absolutely
only
right.
difference is
Okay.
Keem starts
Now,
successful
at
and
the
you're
end of the
not.
day,
That's the only difference.
All right.
And he's not
When you
begging.
look at what Keem has done and what I have done, I'll probably be forgotten. I'll just be a fart in the wind, right?
You're
I
right.
got
You're going to be
100,000 videos on the
forgotten.
internet.
You're
No
going
one's
to.
gonna remember Darkseid.
He's gonna be remembered as the guy who fapped online. That's all he's gonna be remembered for. The guy who masturbated online. That's it. No one's gonna remember. Oh, I'm the most prolific gamer and YouTube guy. I made the most. No one cares, Phil. No one knows who you are except for us haters, or the people who vaguely remember that guy fapping online. Oh, he's the guy. It's the guy.
Phil, besides the guy who jerked off on stream.
Exactly.
And, probably this WWE Champions thing will go away eventually, just like everything else. Who cares? But Keem, has a big body of work. He's known. But when you look at how Keem made his money, okay? Again, I'm going off documentaries and things I've seen. I mean, Keem, you have to openly admit that there were a lot of things that you've done that you...
I love how, like... If he watches some drama video online, it's that's not about him. It's like a factual documentary. But if you go to like Secret Limited's videos and watch a documentary on him about him on that, or his top 10 most, like, you know what I mean? Like any of the Secret Limited or any of these other like down the rabbit hole-esque things, I'm like, oh no, well, he's fine with he's fine with his own down the rabbit hole. But any of these other like long form, like you got the Beggar's Journey by Ex Mortis, which is really good. You got any of the Secret Limited videos. I'm pretty sure the Decepticon has like quite a few of his documentaries on Phil. All these are just hater videos, and there's not a drop of truth in them, and they're all bullshit, lying, and spreading misinformation about me and taking things out of context. But he instantly believes 100% when it's a documentary on someone else, like about Phil, fucking Keemstar, though, right? Oh, if it's about Keemstar, it's 100% true. But any videos about me, no, those aren't true at all. It's fucking insane.
Probably have no issue with whatsoever.
Maybe because he trusts fucking Frederick Knudsen for some reason.
Holy shit, Phil! I gotta say, this is fucking rich coming from you right now, though.
Yeah,
you're getting your information from the detractors that Keem has, and that's where you're basing this on. When this whole episode, you have been talking about how much shit your detractors have made other people think about you. Like, do you hear yourself right now?
Indeed, I do. That's the nature of the beast. That's how YouTube works, man. That's
well,
how
then
all this works, right?
Oh, so it's the nature of the beast, and that's how YouTube works. Then shut the fuck up about detractors spreading misinformation when it's not misinformation in the first place. But it's like, so then shut the fuck up and stop bitching when detractors supposedly say, according to him, misinformation about him. Oh, it's the nature of the beast when it comes to other people, but not about me. It's different when it's me.
You're right. So, from what I've heard and seen about Keem, I call them a misery broker. All right, Keem, on a day when you have a good day, it's
Native. He really thinks that his 15-year legacy, and he makes quality content that will be remembered. It's like, no, it won't.
Like a shoe wedge. Get into that life. Get into that drama, right? You got to be a part of it. And now, get them on your show so that you can pull this out to be not just a one-time thing, but now it's going to be pulled on for weeks and weeks. If there's something...
Phil, do you know the internet at all? Do you know the internet at all?
Yes, I do.
Do you see who's successful on the internet?
And then he loves to pretend that, like, he doesn't propagate drama on his own. And, like, Phil, you've caused so much goddamn drama yourself. It's insane. It's like you do just as much drama as Keemstar does. Like every other week, he's having some beef with some online fucking content creator or criticizing someone because he can't keep his goddamn mouth shut. But he's over here pretending that he never gets involved in drama. And that's always like fucking just Keemstar and people like that always stick up drama. I'm like, Phil, you cause a lot of drama yourself with other people.
I mean,
like LTG, Moist, Critical.
I would probably be more successful if I talk shit on people, but like I don't. And, I do what I can because that's just where I'm at, So it's like you can't be upset when people use the algorithms for their advantage, which Keem seems to have figured out.
You're right. And at one point I was a really stupid, jealous guy. Man,
and even then he's wrong because, like, YouTube can go down at any moment, Phil. your 15-year-old legacy doesn't mean shit because you probably don't have most of that shit backed up anyway. Like, what if they close down tomorrow and all their servers are deleted and shit? What are you going to do then? All your legacy's gone because you don't have your own channel to archive your shit or anything like that. You're just sharing server space with a company that could go down anytime.
I'm putting out content that's not harmful to anyone. I'm just doing gameplay.
Yes, it is. Your fucking content is harmful to people. It's harmful to your dense wallets. It's harmful when you criticize other people and spread misinformation about them.
I'm dicking around on the internet.
You're abusing your own damn fans.
And this guy gets over and he's doing this drama content. People are saying it's hurtful. You know,
that's what you're doing
right.
too.
At the same time,
the hypocrisy is insane.
What's called a moral compass, correct? And you know,
you don't have one because apparently,
recently,
if you had an act, he pisses me off because he loves to hide behind his morals and like go back to his Catholic upbringing bullshit, right? But like, if he had any actual morals, he wouldn't be begging so profusely on YouTube all the goddamn time. He wouldn't allow himself to be seen fucking begging and pleading his fans for tips and fucking memberships and shit. Like, holy shit.
I was raised a Roman Catholic. All right? I'm not religious anymore, by the way. So this is not like an excuse.
So then why are you bringing up the moral bullshit?
All right? And values.
Any
and
reason
me,
to...
The only way that I can get over on the internet and make and get or just get over in life is by stepping on other people. I'm not going to step on those people. I would rather be the
I don't
guy
think
over
that's what
here on
I
the
don't think that's
periphery.
what Keem's doing when he's making videos. You know, I see D-Day Cobra, shout out to him. I saw him in chat earlier, you know, and
yeah, exactly. It's like if he's the one who opens his mouth and talks too much about his private life on his dumbass podcast because he literally podcast quote unquote because he has nothing else to talk about. He doesn't know what to talk about, but he wants to spend as much time as he can not playing a game. So he'll just talk more and more and give away all this potentially damning information on him. And then we obviously take that and run with it as detractors. And then he's like, this is bullshit. Why are they even talking about that? It's like this whole new... I'm gonna be making a video about his whole fucking... Oh, there's something going on behind the scenes, but I can't tell you guys what's going on behind the scenes, guys. But it's just making me really stressed out. And I can't really tell you what's going on. But I'm going to keep mentioning that something is going on behind the scenes, which, to be honest, is just a nothing burger. He is literally just trying to fish for sympathy donations because in his mind, he's not getting enough tips. Because he said it before, he wants to hit the first tip goal every fucking stream, right? And he's obviously not getting that. So he's become so deplorable or pathetic, for lack of a better word, that he's trying to fish for sympathy donations without actually like mentioning what's going on behind the scenes because let's face it, nothing's probably going on behind the scenes. I'm team health all the way, and even I think that this thing that's going on recently is just him begging for money and another way to get money, you know? It's just pathetic. But like that's all he's been doing lately. It's like
and tweeted us out. Thank you, buddy. He talks shit on anyone. Like he'll freaking, you know, he monetizes the haters better than anyone I know.
Right.
And
Well,
I've talked to him personally off air, and he's a fucking great guy, and like has a good moral compass to me. I don't think talking shit about people on the internet somehow changes who you are, right? As your moral compass. I mean, you said moral compass. And it's like, come on, dude. Like,
can I ask Phil a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Phil, listen. All right, if me running Drama Alert is like taking advantage of people's misery, right? Because the way I understand it, for how you're explaining it, is like a YouTuber will get canceled, and then I cover the story on my platform, or you know, you had the fappening, right? And I covered the story on my platform that I'm making money off of other people's downfalls, right? That's the way you see it.
Yes.
Well, there's people on YouTube that run documentaries on important things that happen on the internet. They're also in the same situation, correct?
That's like,
What do you mean by?
it's like saying the news is making profit based on, oh no, did you hear what happened in the Ukraine today? Oh, they have bad morals because they're reporting what's going on around the world. No, like that makes no fucking sense, Phil.
They're making money.
Yep.
They're making money on a newsworthy story on the
So you're,
internet.
like factual reporting of things that are happening, like a news network. Like, what do you mean?
That's why. Oh my god.
Of course. And then I inject my opinion on these stories as well. But there are YouTubers, right? They're commentators, and then there's commentators that do like documentary style stuff that cover drama on the internet. You're saying that every single one of them is accepting blood money because they're voicing their opinions on what's going on.
Oh no, not his
Well,
Frederick Knudsen. God
Simply
forbid,
voicing your
no.
opinion is one thing, Keem, but let's take a look at your history here. There's been documented cases where you've actually staged stuff and extrapolated drama in situations where
Again, same thing could be
it
said
didn't
about
exist. There's
you.
evidence of this. People have admitted
Explain
to it.
that. Explain
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Tell me more. I'm
There's
not
a
aware of these.
The
Tell me
documentary I watched
more.
last year, but June the King made this one. And I guess there was a situation with a YouTuber, and I forget if he was a Minecraft YouTuber or another YouTuber. And, you know, originally he appeared supposedly
And I have
as an
no idea 'cause I
upfront,
can't
honest
remember.
guest on Keemstar's show covering this drama. I think it was allegations that he had been with underage girls or something like that. Okay. Coming to find out later on, the whole, or at least part of it, was orchestrated between the two behind the scenes. Like, I guess he wanted to get back at someone, his ex or his current girlfriend, and Keem participated in that setup situation.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That doesn't even sound legit whatsoever. I have no idea what you're
You have
talking
the right
about.
to deny it. That's fine.
But-
You know what? It's out there. Just so you know, that
Well,
shit's out there, man.
But I
What's
just
good,
want to
Phil?
say, like, you participated in supporting a YouTuber, all right, that covered a story on my misery, right? If I supposedly did something wrong, you watched and supported another YouTuber doing exactly what Dromler does.
It's a good point.
Well,
Like-
and on top of that, and just to kind of reiterate this, like once again, Phil, you're telling Keemstar that he has the right to deny that because he's saying it didn't happen, even though you're saying there's a mountain of proof in this documentary, right? The same thing is being said to you right now about your WWE legends and everything like that, and you have the right to deny it too, even though there's a mountain of evidence through documentaries online.
Correct.
But there isn't a
the
mountain of
difference-
evidence against Keemstar in that, other than one fucking June the King pseudo documentary thing. But we actually have actual facts proving that DSP fucking plays WWE champions. And he can't actually disprove it, because if he did, he would have disproved it at this point already. But he knows he can't.
Keem, to respond to your point, sorry, there's a lot of points that just came up.
Mhm.
The documentary is not just negative stuff about you. Okay, you understand? The documentary is actually covering your entire history.
So it
I've
must
learned
be
a lot of
right,
things about
even
you
though
that I
it's
find very
not-
admirable and very positive by watching
Oh,
it. It really
more
did
dick
cover
sucking.
factual
Okay,
human
gotcha.
rise and all the stuff that's happened.
And then-
some of the
How
big
do you know that,
controversies.
He is such a fucking coward, because as soon as his cameras went down, as soon as the interview was over, he goes back to his fucking channel and just shits all over Keemstar. He's like, Keemstar shouldn't have even been there. I don't even know why he was in the first place. Like, shitting like crazy all over him. But when he's actually confronted, like he is here, he praises him. He's like, "Oh no, you're so like you did such a good job." Blah blah blah. Because he can't actually tell his honest opinion to other people's faces because he's afraid.
Factually.
He's afraid
How
of
do you know
getting
it's
beaten up
factual? I'm
like
just
he should
curious.
have
It's on the
been
internet, so
from
it must be
Jaha.
true.
I know. Phil, real quick. I mean, I see documentaries on DSP, but you on the show said half of the stuff's not even true. So
Right.
I'm confused. Is the internet 100% trustworthy or not? Because when it's about me, it's all facts.
Hey, EV fan.
When
Right.
it's about you, it's all lies. I'm confused.
It's not all facts and it's not all lies. It's always somewhere in between, right? We all know that.
Well,
We're
that
not
yeah,
stupid, we're not
exactly.
bored
Like
yesterday.
he
When
makes
you watch that
money
documentary, you gotta
on other
kinda
people
suspend your
suffering in
disbelief.
misery all
Okay,
the time.
believe it or
He's
not.
still doing it with John and Howard. He still fucking does it with Leanna all the time. Still, he still shows videos and makes money off of that. Hell, he fucking tried to monetize reacting to a 9/11 fucking video. A 9/11 video he reacted to and monetized. Think about that. And then, of course, like T's passing, Scott's passing. He monetized all this fucking shit.
Don't, right? Make your own judgments based
So
on
you
what
chose to
believe
believe
is
this
believed.
one when it came to Keem.
I think Kat is still there. Like, I don't think she's left. Like I said, I'm gonna go over the whole, oh, there's something going on behind the scenes, blah blah blah, which I think is just fishing for sympathy donations. I don't think anything's actually going on behind the scenes. I think Kat's still there because she has a roof over her head, her rent is paid, and she can play fucking Starfield all she wants. Because we all know from the beginning it wasn't a romantic relationship in the first place anyway. If anything, it might be something health related, but no. It's like, I don't think it's. I think she's there for the long haul.
In a couple of particular cases, I'm not saying that one documentary is the only thing I've ever heard about Keem. There's been lots of people who've.
But yeah, he talks shit about everyone, but
so
if
far,
like he
so
will
that's
never
what I'm
talk
going
shit
on.
about
Can
someone.
we come to the
their
conclusion
face.
that me and you both have a bad reputation? We're controversial figures, but one of us is wildly more successful.
Oh, I'm not. I wouldn't even say I'm successful at all. So
Okay.
Yeah, remember
sure.
that,
Sure.
guys. What was that, Phil?
Reputation. We're controversial figures, but
Hold on 1 second.
one of us is wildly
Let me just turn this up for you.
more successful.
I'm not. I wouldn't even say I'm successful at all. So
Okay.
yeah, sure.
Keemstar, continue with what you're.
Oh, I'm not successful at all, guys. I'm just a normal Joe Schmo, everyone / most prolific gamer on YouTube today. And I have a 15-year legacy, and I'm not successful at all, but I'm one of the most successful YouTubers on YouTube right now. Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, you're not.
You were saying. Okay, I think we've established this. Keemstar, continue with what you were talking about leading up to this. You reached out to Boogie Wings.
No, he's
and
definitely
DSP,
not a fucking AI.
50 grand on the table to start the
And
podcast.
I've made videos
Continue.
on that. If you
So,
want to dig back into my
knowing
old
how
video
to help
archive,
all
you can
three of
see
them.
I made a whole.
All right. And then also creating a
video
business
that
opportunity
he's
for
definitely
myself,
not
right? You know, it
an
is
AI.
all these things combined. And not only just
Oh, the
helping
T-slur is not a
DSP,
slur?
Wings, and Boogie and myself,
yeah, it
'cause this
is.
is a brilliant idea, but it's also helping every single person that's in this chat right now. It's also helping every single one of your haters, every single one of your guys' actual supporters. Everybody wants this content. This is a win. This is a golden opportunity. So knowing this and wanting
I love
to
how
reach out to help
Keemstar
you,
originally
I
went
found-
from vaping, and then he had to pull out the actual cigarettes. He's like, this motherfucker. He just pulls out the real cigarettes. He's like, God damn it.
you to be so incredibly difficult to work with. Boogie already contacted you and told you that this was about a podcast. I publicly tweeted, reach out to me, $50,000, and you ignored me. Then we finally start talking in DMs, and your response is, well, email me because I want to set up a call. We're already talking in DMs on Twitter. Why can't we just jump on a call? And
No. You see, Phil doesn't actually like to talk on the phone. He basically chose to not get money and not sell his old condo because he didn't want to hop on a phone call. He is deathly afraid of making any sort of phone call whatsoever. Now, he'll go on his phone to order DoorDash a million times a fucking day. But he literally, if you go back and look, like, the realtor who was like, who DSP hired to sell his old condo, he's like, dude, we have to talk about a few things really quick so I can sell this thing for you. And DSP's like, well, just email me. And the guy was like, no, we need to actually talk on the phone. And DSP refused to actually answer the goddamn phone and talk to him. So the realtor ended up just like, well, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not gonna sell your shit. And he left. And like DSP could have fucking sold his condo right then and well, not right then and there, but he could have probably sold it pretty quickly after talking to him on the phone. And it would have cleared up a lot of his debt and used that money for other things to pay off his debt or whatever, because this was before the bankruptcy or whatever. But we all know that wouldn't have happened. But no, so he's definitely afraid of actually answering the phone. So he does not want to talk to Keemstar. I mean, obviously he doesn't like Keemstar anyway, but even if he did like him, he wouldn't want to talk
right away. We're already communicating. You tell me to go email you. That's that is so weird from my perspective. If I reach out to the biggest YouTuber on the platform, Mr. Beast, and I text him, hey, we got to get on the phone. I got to talk to you about something. I'm going to talk to him within 12 hours. And this is a wildly more busy guy than you, Phil. All right. And that's the biggest YouTuber on the platform. This is how content creators communicate
DSP is
with
the
each
biggest
other.
YouTuber on the platform, guys.
Oh, email each other. Like, we have managers to do that stuff. We have lawyers to do that stuff. I have
Phil
a team
doesn't.
of people that will get in an email. I don't get in an email ever. I'm never in a Gmail ever. You know, this is, what are you talking about? That was so disrespectful to me.
Yeah, emails, am I
when
right?
I'm just communicating you in
Emails.
Twitter DMs. We're talking back and forth, and you're telling me I have to
Shut up,
email you
Adam.
in order to get on a call. I was so confused by that, but I play along. All right. I think one of my people may have emailed you or something. I got a phone number. We set up a scheduled time when we're going to call and we're going to talk about this. And I call you during the scheduled time and you don't answer the phone. And then I get a message back saying, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I was streaming. I told you I work at this time. Well, even if that is true and you were streaming, that stream is not more important than my phone call and my opportunity. It's not.
Phil, what do you think about that? Do you think that's accurate? You have an opportunity to put 5 figures in your pocket, and you kind of give us your mindset there, because I don't.
It's all semantics, because
no, it's not semantics. It's actual objective truth there, Phil.
Or whatever. First of all, Craig knows how to contact me. He contacted me to be on this show. It was pretty straightforward. Wouldn't you say, Craig? It was pretty easy to reach out.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you contacted him to be on the show. I'm pretty sure they didn't just reach out to you all of a sudden. You were the one.
Was it?
No, I emailed you.
Or maybe it was
easy.
because you were begging for an interview.
Pretty reasonably with no issue, correct? I don't think we ever had an issue, right?
No. I think what we're hearing here is...
hold on. You think Craig is a big YouTuber, though? Come on.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, even though he was making, as he says, way too much money at the time, because to be fair, he was making a lot of money at that time. But still, to not sell your condo first before you, your house, your condo, whatever it is, first before you fucking move, like, that's fucking insane.
Look at this guy.
Oh, no.
And then on top of that, he like didn't bring any of his own furniture or anything. He just went straight out and bought all this brand new furniture.
Once upon a time, buddy. Once upon a time.
Overpriced furniture.
This has nothing to do with size. This has to do with just being reasonable. If someone has a business contact line, said, this is the best way to contact me, please do it. But instead, you go to your giant audience on Twitter and you just scream, I want DSP to contact me immediately, $50,000 on the line. It's hostile, it's disrespectful, it's unprofessional.
You don't deserve respect, motherfucker.
We're on the defensive immediately when you saw that from
Exactly.
Keem. You did not see that he was actually reaching out to help. You know,
No,
even
not
though
at all. I didn't even know. People had to tell me in my chat this was happening.
So according to like what I've just heard, you were talking shit about him retiring, and he jokingly responded and kind of slapped you a lighthearted slap with a glove, but said, you know what, I'm gonna hook you up anyway. That's the vibe I'm getting. And you were stuck on that. What year was this, by the way? Just because I kind of have a... So this was recent.
Yeah, roughly a year ago.
Wow. Okay. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a little further back. I mean, it feels like, Phil, you're in this time of like, you're trying to find that way past this spot that you're in. And I don't mean to like call anything out, but it does feel like that's being stuck on level 1, right? And it feels like, I mean, shout out to Keem for like actually reaching out after you were talking shit. Like, that's not something that happens. And if he was truly trying to help you out, like that's kind of surprising. I wouldn't, if someone was talking shit about me and I was as successful as Keem, I'd been like, fuck this person. I wouldn't even acknowledge them, especially as you say, it was just some small time. I don't remember what wording you chose, that you weren't even successful in your own mind.
He's not.
But him talking shit to me,
but he still thinks,
isn't a personal thing, right? It's an opportunity for me to make a Twitter video and make some entertainment for my audience. Like when I go on the internet,
that's how you internet right there.
When I go on the internet, I am not thinking about, will people like me? Will people hate me?
I mean, I've criticized Keemstar
content
on Twitter all the time because he says some really stupid shit
or whatever. Let me make some piece of content that people are interested in.
But
That's
I'm no
all
one.
I ever think
Hello.
about when I come to the internet is serving viewers. All right.
Phil,
Well, there's-
hold on, Phil, are you okay with this? You know, I
With
don't
what?
want. Yeah, just with this conversation. You know, I mean,
Huh?
you came on to do an interview with me and Craig.
Well,
You know,
obviously he
it was a
wasn't
tough
okay
interview.
with it because he
You know, we
bitched about it all the
dove
time
deep
after this interview
throughout,
stopped.
you know, what was going on, and you weren't prepared for. I didn't know that Keemstar would be on the show today. I didn't know either.
Neither did I. Yeah.
This all just kind of happened naturally.
This is the
And
internet.
as the guest on my show, I just wanted to ask you if you're cool. Like, I would love for this to continue. I just want to make sure you're cool with it.
I'm okay with this, but I mean, obviously,
cool.
we want to get back to the other topics too, right? I mean, we kind of put everything on pause
Yeah.
at the game, and
We
I
will,
mean-
sure, but I think something good is happening here, right? We're working
Agreed.
through things. We're understanding what each perspective is. I understand your perspective, Phil. I understand Keemstar's perspective. So I got a question for you, Keem. Is this? You don't mind if I call you Keem, do you?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
Everyone
okay,
calls
cool.
me Keem.
All right, all right. Is the offer still there for this to happen?
I mean,
If Phil is open to it.
Nope.
I would say potentially, but not really, right? You know, I took Wings of Redemption and Boogie 2988, who were willing to work with me and understood this business opportunity. And I'm setting up a boxing match between the two of them, and I'm gonna break the internet with this. All right. This is a awesome opportunity for Wings, an awesome opportunity for Boogie.
Yeah, neither of them really
this is
took
gonna be
advantage of that,
broadcasted
though. They're
on
kind of
May
back to where they
13th,
started from,
and I haven't even announced this
if not a
anywhere
little
yet.
worse
This is an
after the
exclusive.
fact. But
It's going to be free to watch.
Oh shit.
It's going to be free to watch. And
can I ask a
Boogie
question?
got his shit.
Yeah.
Of course.
kicked in.
Since
Yeah.
I am the guest, right?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah, please ask. Yeah.
Keem, you know, again, I understand your reasoning here. You're saying I'm just making content people want to see, right? Is there any line that you won't cross when it comes to content that you think people want to see that you can make profit on? Do you have any kind of restraint? Do you ever feel that?
Well,
you're
clearly
taking
you
something that's too
don't. We've
far?
all seen that
Because
you
I
fucking don't.
personally
So
and
it's
many
really
others hear
hypocritical
this about
you
this boxing
saying
match
this
coming
shit
up.
right
Okay,
now,
Let me
Phil.
give you my perspective. Okay.
okay.
Wings of Redemption, Boogie, two desperate guys. We all know they're down on their luck. They could definitely use some money. Right?
So
We all
could
know this.
you.
We
Yes.
publicly project that to the internet. They're both, technically, from what we can see and understand, they're kind of unhealthy. Maybe not. Who knows? But
So
agree.
are you.
Correct.
just
You,
just because someone's overweight doesn't automatically mean they're unhealthy. I mean, yeah, those two are unhealthy, but you could still be thin and unhealthy like you. Like, unhealthy doesn't automatically mean fat. Like, we see that Phil is like his skin is falling off. It's like he's not a healthy motherfucker. He just really isn't. Like, his skin is sagging. He just sits around all day. He has no exercise whatsoever. Like, just because someone's fat doesn't like people can be unhealthy and be thin. You do realize that, right, Phil? That's like, and I wouldn't even really call him thin, but I mean, DSP is like maybe average weight, maybe a little bit heavier, but like, you can still like he's still very clearly not
do
healthy.
not feel that having two people like this, overweight, possibly unhealthy, doing a boxing match against each other so that everyone on the internet can laugh at them could possibly, just possibly, be either putting them in harm's way or maybe be considered morally reprehensible because of the repercussions that could happen during this match.
Do you not think they're
Right.
adults that they can make their own decisions, though, Phil?
That's
I'm-
And I'm pretty sure with boxing matches and stuff, there's like a doctor on hand. Like, it doesn't matter anyway because like the referee called it after like a couple hits to Boogie had a couple hits. But I'm pretty sure boxing matches and stuff like that, they like have doctors like right on hand on by the arena there to hop in case something happens.
Fine.
I mean,
I mean,
anyone
they
can make
weren't
their
in
own
any
decisions.
real
That's
danger.
I'm sorry, Kim. Please answer them.
Let me respond. All right. Every single influencer boxer, whether they're healthy or not, is putting themselves in harm's way for entertainment. They're
True.
all warriors and they all deserve respect. Wings of Redemption and Boogie haven't gotten any respect. In fact, it's disrespect. Very similar to you. All right. And by doing this, they will get respect. Whether people laugh or not, they are going to get respect for jumping in that ring. But you mentioned that they're unhealthy. Of course they're unhealthy. But I can tell you right now, behind the scenes, and nobody knows this, both of them have actively already lost weight training for this fight. This is a positive thing in both of their lives. And I don't think either one of them have the ability to seriously hurt the other. Do you? Do you think they're in real danger by fighting each other? I think these are equal opponents.
This is not a serious boxing match, Keem. They're not boxers. They don't know anything about boxing. These are two overweight guys that are going to go at it, swinging. You know.
Are you going to watch?
No.
Yes, you are.
No,
yes,
I'm not. I don't watch
believe
that
you.
crap. I don't watch your crap.
Phil,
Are you out of your
Phil,
mind?
you know
don't
who is gonna watch it, Phil?
Everyone else.
Everyone. Great
Really?
answer.
Right.
That's exactly what I would have said.
I just
Phil-
don't believe you. It really comes down to what I just
not
said a
gonna
little
watch
while
it, dude.
ago. When I look at like making content for the internet and doing stuff like this, my question is, will this serve viewers? And I know it will. I know so many people are going to tune in. I know so many people want to see this. And I don't believe you when you say you're not going to watch this. I think you are going to watch
I mean, to
this
be
fight.
fair, I didn't really watch it.
So
Phil-
mistaken. You have known
Phil-
nothing about me then, dude.
I think I watched some
Let's
highlights
ask this,
after
Phil,
the
just-
fact,
and
but I
this is
didn't
just my
watch it
morbid
live.
Curiosity. If there was an opportunity
I'm not really
for
big
you,
into
Phil,
sports
to
anyway.
do something physical, box, whatever, I don't know, whatever it may be, that was a kind of a YouTuber versus YouTuber opportunity. Would you
I
be
don't watch
open to
that
that?
crap.
Open
No.
to
Yeah, his
anything like
voice
that?
squeaked too when
Yeah.
that happened. No,
That's just
I'm
what
not gonna
about.
watch it.
I'm on the internet to share my passion for games.
Well, we obviously all
Have
know that he
cool
does
social
watch
interactions
Detractor
with, you know,
content,
my
so
viewers, my fans, whatever you want to call them. I'm not here to make a mockery of myself or, do a publicity stunt.
but that's
don't
what
do
you
that
ended
kind of
up doing anyway.
People will say I do. Whatever.
You always make
It's
a
your
mockery of
perspective. From my
yourself.
perspective, I just want to be.
And he
in
takes
my
himself
lane with
way
my
too
viewers,
fucking
doing good,
seriously.
fun stuff.
If he
I have no
embraced
aspirations of
his
grandeur or
low
anything like
cow
that. I
status,
don't
he
wanna
could
blow
probably
up because
make
I did a
good
stupid
money,
internet
but he
boxing match
refuses
with
to.
someone. It's so stupid to me.
Th-
Immature.
that's fine,
honestly.
Phil. If I could finish why I'm frustrated and explaining myself.
continue.
Because look, this all started with me retiring and you having, a bad opinion on me, and then us having that metaphor of, you being on level 1. I really did retire like a year ago. I pretty much did retire. Now I'm doing DLC, but I'm not paying for the DLC. The DLC is paying me, and I'm doing more and more and more and more stuff in this space because I just love it so much. And it comes from a place of you absolutely loving what you do and loving these video games.
And it's very clear
You know who
DSP
else
does
likes
not
video
love what
games?
he does.
Wings and Boogie. You don't think the three of you on a podcast would be a good thing? You guys talking about games, giving your opinions, talking about current events and whatnot. You don't think that's a positive thing?
Keem, I just said right here on the show, I would love to do a show with those
Okay.
guys. I'm friendly with them. Behind
So-
the scenes, I have conversations.
So when I couldn't get a hold of you and I called you multiple times, it wasn't once and you ignored, it was multiple times. I kept calling, I kept DMing you, and you said, "Oh, I'm streaming now," and da. Couple weeks went by.
By the way, that's
And-
false what he's saying, but I'll let him keep going. It's fine. Whatever. Believe it as fact,
No. We want to hear your perspective. That's what we're
Yeah,
doing here.
Did he not call you multiple times?
He called me at least once, maybe twice, but I think it was just once. It could have been twice.
The amount
you
of
don't
times
even
that
know
you've said during
how
this
many times
interview
he's
that
called
you don't
you.
really remember is shocking.
Because I don't document this stuff. Why do I care?
But how can you say with such certainty that it wasn't you, or that he didn't call, or that all these things if constantly I'm just calling it out, or I'm not trying to come at you, but that I've just noticed that a lot. So now
That's
you
fine.
say actually he called maybe twice. Could it have been 3 times? Could it have
Again,
been 4 times?
It definitely
that you
wasn't
didn't even
3 or
notice.
4. It was 1 or 2. It
How do I
definitely wasn't
know?
3 or 4.
I'm just
Yeah, how do you
Well,
know?
I
regardless-
specifically remember when he called me during a stream, and I'm like, "Who's calling me?" And then when I went on a break, I opened my phone. I'm like, "This must be him," because I don't have his phone number. I'm assuming this must be him because of
So how do you know how many times he
locations,
called
type
you, and
phone
if you
numbers
don't even know
or
what his
whatever.
phone number is?
Why is he calling me when I gave him these specific times to call me? He's calling me when I said I was busy.
But
Why
even
would you
then,
do that?
Phil, you may be busy, but there's a call worth potentially 50 grand plus more on the backside of this that could take 10 minutes. I mean,
Change your life.
and once again, your true fans will understand.
any
Look, I had to
sane,
get on a phone
normal
call. This is a
person
really important business call.
would have
I
taken
appreciate
this
you guys, and you know
business
what?
opportunity,
They're
especially
going to stay
someone
there
who
with you. They're
claims
going to
to be
stay there
broke,
watching
like
because
Phil
they want to know
always
what's
claims to
happening.
be
They want to
broke.
know more about this. Like the idea of not taking a call just because you're streaming, like your fans will understand that, man.
No, and again, I didn't even know that was him. I didn't have his number. You know, I'm checking after the fact during a break or whatever. But
you told him to call you, so obviously you like. Who else is calling you? You clearly don't like to talk on the phone, on actual phone calls. So like, who else would have been calling you at that point in time then, huh? So you're expecting a phone call sometime from him, even though you don't know his phone number. Who else is it going to be that would have been calling?
The fact that this guy can't call me when I'm giving him the times to call was baffling to me. So first, he won't. The true interaction here, I had to DM him. He wouldn't contact me. I had to DM him. He would not talk further in the DM about what this was until I demanded it. I'm like, dude, just tell me what you're talking about to see if I'm interested. I don't want to get on a call with you unless you just say, what if he had said something I'm totally not interested in at all? I can say, no, we're not even bothering with it.
Well, you're not interested in the first place anyway, clearly.
He even say, okay, I want you to be like a host on the show. And then he wouldn't even talk any further. He demanded a phone call. I give him my number. I give him the specific times to call. He calls the wrong times.
Well,
right?
guys, according to what I hear from Keem, hold on, I just want to say this real quick. According to what I'm hearing from Keem, he was going to put up $150,000 to do a show with 3 guys. Like, that's a risk. That's him investing a lot of his income to try to help these guys, for including yourself. And I think a phone call, wanting to do it over a phone call, is like that's nothing in comparison to what he's trying to do. All right, I just need to say that, Keem.
And Phil, listen.
Do you want to know why I don't like the phone call idea? Why I wanted it in writing? Would you like to know?
In just a second. Keemstar, go ahead.
Phil, now that we're talking about this and we're communicating for the first time back and forth, all right, I can tell just by how you're reacting and what you're saying back to me that you actually understand that this was a great opportunity.
No, you're wrong.
And that's why
you
we needed to
have
be on
done
the
that.
phone, is so we could actually communicate. We could hear each other's voice. We could talk this thing out. You can ask me questions. The text conversation.
Like, I know, like,
the
Keemstar was
emails
just
back and
wrong
forth,
about DSP
all
and a
right?
few different
That's
things.
not like really how business gets
DSP
done.
is
That's
not
how contracts get done.
making
That's
a
how managers
character. He's
communicate
not
back and
playing
forth
a
and do
character.
deals.
That's just who
But, like,
he is.
when
That's
we're at the
the
very
real
beginning
him.
of an idea and we're trying to figure out
And he clearly
what we're
was
going
not
to do with
into
this
the
business,
actual
it has to be like
ideal,
real communication
because
back
he's
and
worried
forth
he's going to be
in a phone
outshined by
call,
Boogie
like it is
or
right now.
Wings. He always has to be the one in charge.
So that's
Okay.
why it was so important for me to get on the phone with you.
Okay.
Do you agree
Does that
or
make sense?
disagree? Does it make sense to you, Phil?
What I was going to say was
Sure.
the reason I wanted it in writing was very simple. All right. Again, you have to understand, Keem, you have a lot of stuff that's said about you on the internet. You know that. We've agreed to that.
But
Right?
so do you.
I'm so
Correct.
sick of hearing
But
that from
so
you.
do
Phil.
you.
But
It's so frustrating
if
when
I'm
you
going to
say
deal
that.
with this guy, if I'm going
I'm
to deal
with
with
him.
this guy, I want our conversation in writing. Because what's to stop me from getting on the phone with Keem, having a conversation, and the next thing I know, he completely lies about what we just talked about to get drama on his content.
Phil, that's like me going to Craig. Like, hell no. I hear all
Like, and probably, if you had agreed to do the podcast, Keem would have written up some kind of physical written contract for you, Boogie and Wings, to say, hey, yeah, I'm joining this, and all the steps laid out for it and how much they're actually getting for it, like an actual legal contract for that. But obviously he's not going to give that to you right away. He wants to talk to you first, but he didn't even want to
all
do
this
that.
shit about Phil. I don't want him to come up here and start fucking wanking it on the show live. You know what I mean? That's like me believing what is on the internet when I think this was actually it was a tough, but it was a good show. You know, and it was a chance for you to come clean and like really try to tackle some of the shit that's out
Which you
there.
didn't even do.
But it's like you're using the same kind of shit that people have been using against you, but you're using it against Keemstar. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't trust the
You
guy.
do
I just
hear, you
don't.
do
I
see
don't
it, right?
trust him. I do not trust Keem.
But once
You
again,
don't know me. We've never even talked.
How do you not trust the man when you're getting your information from the internet? The internet is not a real place.
I can tell you this. I do business with the biggest content creators on this entire planet. All right. I don't just run a show called Drama Alert. I develop video games. I represent YouTubers. I get them brand deals. One of my companies represents the biggest streamer on the planet. I have a long business history with FaZe, Mr. Beast. Like, you don't know anything about me. You don't. right? But if we had a conversation and you got to learn about me and what I've done and the business opportunities that I've created for this industry for the last 15 years, your opinion of me would be wildly different than you watching a drama documentary about me, something that you're against. Like, you know, this is blood money.
It was
But
not a
that's where
drama
you got your
documentary.
information
It
from.
was.
It talked a lot positively about you. Why do you think I watched a drama video?
Clearly, it wasn't
That's not
all
what I
true.
watched.
If
So
he's denying.
it talked positively about me, but by watching it, you had a negative view of me. That doesn't. It's
No,
not
I told
adding
you.
up.
I respect you immensely, but
Bullshit.
I don't know after all. It's not
Jesus
just that.
Christ.
There's other things too. Other people that have said things about you and their dealings with you. I have to kind of be protective of myself.
Same
and my
with
business
you,
and my family.
dumbass.
Was there
I
ever?
have-
hypocrisy?
I
Was
feel
there
there's
ever a
risk of being
story-
involved with you. I do. I feel there's a risk that I could be, you know, hung out to dry somehow.
I know that
taking
there's
advantage of you.
multiple things that I've done wrong in my career, like 1,000%. I have said outlandish things in the attempt of making entertainment and entertaining people. You know, in 2015, one of the biggest things, my team got a story wrong, and I went on air with the story wrong and falsely accused someone of being a pedo. It was wrong identity. It wasn't even the same guy. All right. You know, if you look at that story and actually look into it, the person that exposed Keemstar for that and brought that to the internet was Keemstar. I exposed myself for getting it wrong. I right away tried to make, you know, it right with that guy, offer him 20
And he
grand.
actually apologized. Something Phil never does. Because it's always someone else's fault. Someone else should have told me. It's never DSP's actual fucking fault, right? It's never. It's always someone else's fault. But other, like, people like Keemstar, like, at least they have the dignity to be, yeah, I fucked up. It was my bad.
This is like back in 2015.
Something Phil will never do.
If you actually look into any of this stuff about me, you're going to see Keemstar saying wild effed up stuff, and he's definitely wrong. But you're going to see Keemstar making mistakes and trying to make amends for it if you actually take the time to look into it. Now, you're on this show asking these audience, this detractors, these gentlemen running this podcast to treat your story and what's said about you fair. I should have gotten the same respect from you, or at least a respect to get a phone call just so we could better know each other.
Phil,
But that
do you?
didn't-
But Phil
But that
never
didn't
respects anyone except for himself.
If I could finish,
That's
'cause I'm
where you're
almost
wrong.
done
Yes, sir.
with representing, you know, my point in all this. I called him multiple times. I couldn't get a hold of him. It rubbed me the wrong way right from the beginning when he was trying to send me to an email, which made no sense to me. And I think 2 weeks roughly went by, and I went on YouTube, and because I was looking up DSP stuff, you know, doing research for the podcast, the algorithm like sent his live stream in my feed. So I tune into it. And I'm telling you, the minute I tuned in, I saw Phil begging for money to pay rent and utilities. And I just lost it in his chat. I'm like, I cannot believe that like you're doing this right now. 2 weeks ago, I was trying to get a hold of you, offering you the greatest opportunity you've ever been offered in your entire career. Phil, if this podcast was a success, all right, everyone in the chat and you are looking at $50,000. It wouldn't be $50,000. This podcast would make millions. It would be a wild success. It would be a brand. This is something that would be clipped on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram. People would talk about this, just like you're being clipped on your little live stream now, except for we would have an opportunity to
Your little
monetize
tiny
it.
pathetic live stream.
Phil, do you understand kind of the you know, obviously I think what Keem is saying, he has this business experience, right? He's offering you an opportunity. You turn the other way. But there's a lot of things that you're saying today. You're talking about you know, Keem making mistakes, saying things, doing business the wrong way. That can also be said about yourself. And the things that you're saying are very I mean, it's like holding a mirror up to yourself, because I feel like there's actually a lot of similarities between Keemstar making mistakes. You've made mistakes, things that we touched on during this podcast, right? you do understand the similarities between what your argument is for not wanting to work with him and the reason why you have so many detractors.
Sure. What I would say is the difference between me and Keen.
We miss you,
outside
Judgy.
of wild amount of
You need to
popularity,
come back. You're
is
not
that
quite the same
if
as the
you take a
game
look at
over
the body of
sign.
work that I've done in the 15
Justice
years
for
I've done it,
Judgy.
all right, you would say, has Phil ever really outright with anything he's done actually concretely hurt someone
Yes.
to the point where like,
Yes, you fucking have.
wow, what a heinous person.
Yes.
People will
Yeah.
say that.
You
about
have. Many times. You've hurt people. Your fans. People you talk shit about. Why do you think you have so many detractors? Most detractors used to be fans of yours until you hurt them. Dumbass.
They will say that about Keen.
You have fans that continue to donate to you that are living in a fucking car or were homeless at one point or another, but they still continue to give you money. That's hurting them.
Okay, and at the end of the day,
God damn.
when I have to make business decisions about who I'm going to associate with and who I'm not going to,
Oh, business
that's a
decisions,
factor.
my ass. You don't
And
even
it's
run a
it's
business.
a moral factor for me.
Jesus.
It has nothing to do with Keem's business sense. Keem, you are a great businessman. Everyone knows that. I think you would actually run the podcast very, very well. I do. I would love to do this podcast with Boogie and Wings. I have a problem with you morally, dude, with the content you put out. I do. And
I'm
I
gonna-
let him
just
respond. Let him respond to
Which
that.
is also
Listen,
bullshit.
you just said that you've never hurt anyone, right? And you talking trash doesn't hurt me. That's just an opportunity, right? But when you treated me the way you did behind the scenes, this sounds like bullshit coming from me, but you hurt me. I was offended. I was hurt. Like, why are you treating me like this? Why can't you treat me like a man and why can't we have a conversation? If you came to the conclusion
Because he isn't a
no, I
man,
don't want
that's
to do
why.
this isn't right for me, that's fine. But you really showed me no respect at all. It was so disrespectful how you were treating me, making me email. I have to call at a certain
DSP
time.
demands respect all
I'm
the time.
calling and you're not answering
Yeah.
the phone. And then when people were asking, your fans asking online, why didn't you do this podcast with Keem? During this whole time, I forgot to mention this, he was still talking bad about me publicly.
Keem, you just said it. Like, just what you just described is probably the main reason I have a problem with you. You are someone who has no self-awareness, and you think that you're the most important thing.
The gall
you
of this
tweeted on
the
your
gall of this motherfucker. The gall. Like, the projection is out insane. This motherfucker's projecting to the moon and back right now.
Twitter.
Like,
I should contact
have you ever looked in a
you
fucking
about a business
mirror?
opportunity.
Holy
no one does
shit.
that. They contact the person about the business opportunity directly.
We all do it. We all do
Everyone.
it.
Yeah,
It's the internet, Phil.
Phil, it's
Like,
the internet, man.
you
Yeah.
said you've been doing this for 15 years, but like, do you not understand the way algorithms
That's
work?
just the thing. He's been doing this for 15 years, but he's a fucking dinosaur, and he always has been. He's a goddamn boomer who doesn't really understand or get the internet, but he's trying to use the internet to as an easy way to make money when he has no passion for games. Clearly, he's just he's just trying to he's making a mockery of like actual content creators because he doesn't understand like how the internet actually fucking works
The way
at all.
anger is addictive and how people are hooked on crazy shit. Go ahead.
I want no part of that drama. I don't
Phil,
want to be
Phil,
on a
Phil, from-
podcast that is going to be about that. I don't want to be involved with someone
That's not what he was.
he's-
I don't even
this
know
is
what the
egomaniacal
podcast was
what
going to
he's
be about.
saying. He's being egomaniacal. I have to just listen
Phil,
to what you
I'm
said.
not.
Keem,
Phil.
you just said my whole life should have stopped because you wanted to contact me. Really?
I did
my
not say
whole
that.
life. You
No,
just
he
said
didn't say that.
answer
I
the
did
call
not
at
say that.
any time, even though I
Phil,
gave you the times to call me.
Can
Answer
I
the
give
call
you
at
some
any time at
context?
all.
Can I give you some context? From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, every single day, I talk to at least 20 different content creators. And this is true. This is not an exaggeration.
He really is.
You know,
he's
run
a fucking
an
fake
influencer
poser.
boxing,
He's new.
Happy
And
Punch. We
the
represent
fact that his
fighters
dents actually fall
that do
for it
boxing.
when he
I
can't
have
even
all-
list like his favorite game or anything like that. So I think every single person could at least pick like 2 or 3 different games that are like their all-time top favorite. It might be hard to get someone to like narrow down their favorite games to one actual game. But like he's over here fucking posing and pretend like, oh well, I can't really pick, and it's like because you don't actually have favorite games.
my
You don't
staff.
act. You're not a real gamer, Phil.
I have YouTubers and content
You're not even
creators
a
that
real
we
Let's
represent
Player.
business-wise with brand deals and stuff like that.
He's just
And
doing
then
it for
I run
money. He's
drama,
only ever
right?
done it
So
for
I have to get on the phone with different content creators to validate stories or get people's takes so I can, you know, inject that into the story to make sure that like what I'm reporting and what I'm talking about is accurate and have a full perspective, right? How all this business operates, right, between content creator and content creator is like Twitter DMs. It's like a tweet, yo, DM me. Yo, let's hop on a phone call. When we're talking about contracts and stuff, then you have lawyers,
He's not
you have
even paying attention.
managers
He's just like
sharing
fiddling with
emails,
something on his desk.
emailing each other back and forth. But the content creators, which we are both content creators, we are on the same level. I'm not higher than you. You're not higher than me. We have a mutual respect as content creators. We should be able to be in Twitter DMs and then get on a phone call. And you didn't treat me like that. You treated me like dirt. This is not about me thinking I'm God. This is about how you treated me in those Twitter DMs.
Keem, I gave you the times to call. You called at different times, and we never had another interaction ever again. How was I disrespectful to you?
So when they asked me, is this opportunity, you know, still available? When I say maybe, because like, I don't know how I could work with you. You are very, very difficult to work with, to even communicate with, firsthand.
Because I didn't drop everything to talk to you, I'm difficult to communicate with, even though I have
what are you dropping?
publicly listed ways to contact me.
Please explain to me what you're dropping. Like, what is so important that's happening that you can't get on a phone call with me?
My work, my job. I'm here 6 days a week, full-time streaming to make a living.
But this job that I'm about to offer you would pay wildly more and solve all these problems that you have going on.
First of all, you don't know what it's going to solve. That's a huge assumption. Second of all,
It would solve all the problems of you begging for fucking money all the goddamn time because you don't have organic income coming in. If you never beg for money, you would not make half of what you fucking make now. He has to fucking sit there and beg. That's not natural growth. That's not a natural form of
I didn't
income.
know what the thing was because you never told
He's a fucking
me.
leech.
You didn't call at the time you were supposed to.
Didn't
We're
Boogie
going
give
in a
you?
loop.
We are
give you-
going in a loop. You're
yeah.
right.
Because you're a fucking
it's
idiot.
happened a lot on this episode so far.
Right. So look, I think let's leave it here, right? A bridge has been gapped. You know, we brought a bridge together, right? I don't know if something's going to come from this with Keem and Phil, and there's obviously still friction there, and that's fine. But I'm glad you guys had an opportunity to talk, and I think more than anything, Phil, you know, you're learning more about, you know, business in 2022, 2023, and how interactions,
you're a fucking
you know,
dinosaur.
and the importance of being quick and nimble and things like that along here, because that's in reality that's how business works now. So.
Let me put it this way: if it weren't Keem, because again, I already had a negative association in my head of who Keem is. I had
Incorrect negative
very
association.
little interest in doing any work with him. If it was someone else, maybe I would have. But you know, that's the association I had. I had a moral issue working with the guy, so it wasn't a big deal to me that he was reaching out to me.
Before I leave, because I'm pretty much done, I've expressed everything that I want.
I appreciate it, Keem.
Can I give you some criticism?
Me?
Phil, is that okay?
Yeah, because I came in saying that I'd be respectful and I wouldn't dunk on you or any of that stuff, but I do have some criticism that I desperately want to express to you.
It's
as
up to
long
Phil.
as long as it's respectful and it's not, you know.
I'm going to do this.
Oh,
in the
as
most
long as it's respectful,
way.
but I can't treat you respectful in any way. But you see how he's demanding fucking respect himself when he doesn't fucking give anyone else even a modicum of fucking respect.
And then I'll go. And of course you can respond. But I don't condone people harassing you, people doxing you, people going into your private, you know, life and doing all this horrible stuff that they've done. But I believe the reason why this has happened is because people don't trust you. You don't come across as trustworthy. So when you're on stream and you're asking to pay utilities and rent and all that stuff, the audience is getting frustrated and they look at you like you're a scammer and they want to know where this money is going. Well, how is he always in this situation? What is he spending his money on? And that is the motivation to dive into your personal life. You had an opportunity on this show, and I watched it, to just pull up the screenshot and show the WWE account, and you didn't do it, your internet cut off. At that point, when your internet cut off and you were DDoSed and you were gone off stream, the opportunity is now gone. It's gone, because while your internet was out, you could have made a fake screenshot. All right. You're never ever going to be able to prove what your WWE account was or is ever again, because people will say he just photoshopped it. He just made it up. You're never going to be able to prove that
anyway.
You had one opportunity to do it right away with these guys
live off the
and
cuff.
that was it. And you didn't take advantage of it, because I personally, watching it, and so did the audience, thought that you were lying. And if you are lying, if it is true and you're not being honest,
you would have shown it.
If I were you, this is the best advice I could give you, right? Is just be like, look, this was my account. This is that. I would ask for a clean slate, and I would do things different, because restarting level 1 over and over and over again is,
because if like by some miracle it's actually not his WWE Champions account and he hasn't been spending all this money on it, despite the mountains of evidence we have that links DSP to this account, multiple evidence, all this fucking evidence, that if it was taken to court, any jury of any common sense would convict him of being guilty that is his account. But let's say by some miracle of God that he is correct and that's not his account, he would have shown his actual account by this point then, to disprove these rumors. He would have done it on this fucking show, on this interview. He would have fucking shown it, like pulled it right up as it was live, as it was like off the cuff asked of him, and he had no way of knowing that question was going to come out, and he would have shown it. And I bet he probably has fucking multiple accounts on there anyway. He probably doesn't just have one account. So it's like, why not show the one account that hasn't spent that much money on it or something, as opposed to the real account? But he doesn't even do that. So it's like, because he can't. And that just further proves, further evidence that he literally cannot disprove it, because it is his fucking account.
The root of all your problems, if that makes any sense.
I appreciate the input. It's not true, so I'm not going to do that. But I appreciate the input. If it were true, I would fess up to it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Sir, thanks. Appreciate it, man. I'll appreciate.
I mean, yeah, Native. Like, I totally get that. It's like, I mean, I don't really consider myself a YouTuber, because, like, I mean, maybe I am. I don't know. I just started making content not that long ago, but like, even in the whole detractor vortex thing or whatever, it's like, there are some detractors who I don't like their content, but that doesn't mean I don't like them as a person. I still respect them. I don't have any reason to not like anyone unless given some reason. You know what I mean? So it's like, until I'm like mistreated personally or something, I'm not gonna shit on someone. Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't like heel versus babyface all that much, but that's more of for political reasons as any kind of personal one. But I mean,
appreciate you hopping on. Really appreciate it.
I still respect him as a content creator or whatever you want to say. Just because I don't like his content and I don't like his views doesn't mean I hate him.
Hey, Phil,
Hate's a
you've been
strong
throwing
word.
curveballs today, which I did not see coming. All right, I did not see them.
Do I hate DSP? Yeah, I hate DSP. I guess I could say that. And I don't even really get mad at it. I try not to get mad at him anymore, because it's like, it's so fucking pathetic. It really is. Like, he is so fucked. Like, no one is jealous of him. No one would switch places with him. Not for any amount of money in the world would they switch places and be in the position he's in. No one would want that.
Story of my life, Craig.
And I'm not even talking about the detractors part. I'm talking about how he's in a loveless relationship. He's so narcissistic that he can't love anything or anyone except himself.
My life.
Hey,
Yeah.
I appreciate
Props for
you.
still being here.
Do you
Phil,
want to keep going?
honestly.
I've got till around 4 p.m. We could keep going. If you have more questions, I'm down for it.
So
Well, hold on.
let me say this. I
It's
reached
almost
out.
10 p.m. for me, and I haven't had dinner, and so I can't go much longer.
Give us
freaking
15
starving.
minutes. Let's go 15 more minutes.
Okay.
Okay. And if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Once again, we stream Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. We have some great interviews coming up. Once again, Mark the Cyborg, James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, coming up. So make sure you guys are here for those. We'd really appreciate it. Once again, you can follow us over on Twitter at SideScrollerPod. You can follow me.
Hell, I
at,
don't
you
even
can see
really
down
like
there, and
side
Adam as well.
scrollers that much,
And obviously,
honestly. I know I'm
Darkseid.
watching this now, and I will admit they did a really good job with this interview. Adam helped in a big way for the interview. I feel like it wouldn't have been as good as it was if Adam wasn't there. But I don't like their content normally because they claim to be a video game channel, but all they talk about is politics lately. Not to mention the whole fucking Melanie Mac and Trav situation that I've talked about previously. Because I don't like either of those people. Trav's a fucking token, and Melanie Mac's a huge homophobic bigot, and they just passed it off as she was like, oh, it's just making a joke. No, she wasn't just making a fucking joke. So, like, I don't like their content, right? But I respect them for doing this interview. But it's not like I'm a fan of them. And the whole monetize the haters thing that Craig was doing after this was really cringe as well, too. It was really cringe. I'm like, come on, dude.
Phil as well.
Okay,
so
guy.
Phil, I reached out. So we only have like 15 more minutes. And once again, I appreciate everybody hopping in, being a part of the day, being a part of the stream, and all your super chats have been amazing. I want to let you know that we will definitely take a look at them. I don't think we're going to read them on stream, but during our post show over at patreon.com/sidescrollers, we'll bring Blabs and Travis in, and we'll.
You see, you see that? Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? Like, I hope you guys can hear what I'm saying. I hope this isn't too low. Even during the interview itself, they said they're going to do a post show in a couple days to go over all the super chats that were occurring during this interview. Okay? And that's what got DSP all upset, was that he thought, because I guarantee you, when he was watching or reacting to the post show with Craig, Adam, Blabs, and fucking Trav, right? And he thought they were making all that money after the fact. DSP thought they were making all that money the day after because he was on the show. I'm like, no, they were all reading super chats that were occurring during this fucking interview, because there's so many. They were so flooded with so many super chats talking about DSP, and like they were pretty bad. I mean, they were fairly bad. Like, they were bad, obviously, because no one believed his bullshit, and he came across as a liar because he is a liar, right? So it's like, the whole time he was coming across as a like unbelievable liar, piece of shit douchebag that he is. So yeah, the super chats were negative about him because of that. And they had, like, DSP doesn't seem to get it. It's like, when you're a streamer and you have a lot of super chats come in, you have to read them so that they're getting the people who donated are getting a shout out and getting their money's worth. Because that's kind of why they're super chatting in the first place. They're super chatting, but they're also like giving their opinions on the stream itself, right? So it's like there's super chat after super chat talking about what's going on during the interview. And they didn't do that during the interview, so they have to have a post-show catch-up stream where they catch up on all the super chats that they missed and talk about it and respond to them, because they're being asked questions or they're being like responding to the super chats that were originally taking place during this interview. But DSP is so fucking stupid. He literally thought they were making a whole new stream, and all the super chats that were going on was happening after the interview itself. These were new super chats. He thought these were new super chats that were happening in the post show. These were new super chats that were happening in the post show after the fact because they had DSP on, and not super chats that were happening while the actual interview was going on. And he doesn't seem to get that. Like, yeah, if you're a professional streamer of some sort and you get a bunch of super chats, you have to go through and read every single one of them to give people the respect for them donating to you. Hell, when you watch a Medicare stream, he ignores all the super chats during most of the stream, and then near the end of the stream, he'll read off every fucking super chat that he gets and responds to it after the fact. Because he wants to validate them and respect them for them giving him money. So it's like, okay, well, we're at the shout out section, so if you don't want to keep watching, I'll see you guys next time or whatever. And then he'll go down and read every single one, because that's what you do as a streamer, Phil. And if you can't do it live at the time, you can read it later on.
Continue on.
But he's too fucking
Adam can go
stupid.
get some food. But I wanted to play some audio.
But
This is
yeah,
actually-
you're right, Native. Even if they were making money after the fact, it's still none of his fucking business anyway. They are being rewarded for doing a good job, because they did do a good job for the interview. And again, I don't even like these people, but I still think they did a good damn job. So yeah, they're being rewarded for doing a good job. So shut the fuck up, Phil.
I reached out to several of your detractors, Phil, and I thought it would be fair to allow them to ask questions. So I wanted to play this for you, and we'll just kind of go from there. Okay? Does that sound good?
Sure. Fire away.
Are you okay with that?
I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're saying, obviously. So.
Well, this is from It's a Gundam. Are you familiar with that name?
I'm familiar with the name, and I'm definitely familiar with the voice.
Okay, well, you're gonna know the voice. So here you go. This is a question from him.
Hey there, Philly cheesesteak. Guess who it is? Your favorite YouTuber. We're best friends.
I remember
that time
watching
you thought
this
it'd be
live,
funny to
and
put
this
a
part was
restraining
so
order on
fucking
me,
great.
Filbert? Well, Philly, my question is, what the hell did you spend $500,000 on? You didn't pay off your house. You didn't pay off the condo. You didn't pay off any car you own. You're in debt. Where did the money go? Why did you take business loans? What did you use the business loan money for? You never improved your content. You've been using the same camera for nigh on 5,000 years. If it wasn't for, like, the Dutch brothers sending you a new web camera or, like, LEDs in the background, you'd have no ideas. Where'd the money...
I love that he included the Dutch brothers in that, because he would have said, actually, I did improve my camera. I got a new webcam, and he wouldn't have even mentioned that someone donated that shit to him. Like, I actually got LEDs and a new camera, and he wouldn't have fucking mentioned that someone donated.
You're like a politician in San Francisco. If I went to the mayor, I said, Mayor of San Francisco, where did all that money go, that $120 million you defunded the police with and put into black communities? Where did it go? You know, Phil, you screwed up. You never should have been a YouTuber. You should have been a politician in San Francisco. You would have gotten away with it, baby, if it wasn't for those meddling detractors.
Is it going to end at some point?
All right, it's over now.
It's actually not too late. I mean, politicians tend to be older.
Mm-hmm. Look, that was a long question. I think my first question after that is,
I think we handled that though already. We talked about that shit.
But the 500,000. That's the first I've heard of that figure. Where is that?
No,
coming from?
I mentioned it earlier. We talked about it. And
Could be the bankruptcy. I'm not sure.
And I asked him, and
How-
if it was the
How are you not fucking sure, Phil? It was your fucking bankruptcy. And yes, that was your total debt that you owed from all the credit cards, Phil, was $500,000 worth of debt that was wiped out because of the bankruptcy. That's what he's talking about. And yes, if anyone has been around long enough, they would know that he actually did take out personal loans to go to fucking fighting game tournaments, Street Fighter tournaments. That's how he went to fucking Evo and got the 4th place win at Evo. What was that, 2006, I think, maybe? 2005? Something like that. That's like he took out fucking personal loans and all this
The
shit.
bankruptcy, and I think that's it.
Okay. Have you taken out any business loans?
Yeah, no, it's like if DSP refuses to put any of the money he's like any of the thousands of dollars that he's given on a weekly or monthly basis, he refuses to put back into it. Do you know how much I would love to get like an actual professional style mic? Like one of those Shure mics, I think it's pronounced. And it's like the really nice fancy kind. I would love to get that. I would love to get like better headphones and shit like that. Maybe even have like either green screen or something fancy for when I do webcam stuff. But that's usually on my other channel, not on this one. But still.
And if so, what were they used for?
Business loans? No.
Business
Everything,
loans?
all that debt that got written off was credit cards and stuff. That
And personal loans.
Oh, I had personal loans, not business loans. I've never taken out any kind of loan officially in the name of the business or anything like that. No.
Okay. Is there anything else like, I don't know. It's very rarely do you have an opportunity to kind of interact with.
Did he used to be on the Howard Stern show? His voice is so familiar to me. He used to be. Was he that clown guy? Seriously, he sounds just like
he
him.
wasn't,
He
dumbass.
sounds just like him. No, I don't know. He's one of the many detractors who make videos about me. I've literally never watched a video of his.
Bullshit!
Do
You
think that,
lying sack
by
of
not
shit. Of
watching
course you
the
have.
videos, you're like, do you think that if you were to spend time watching their videos, you'd be able to react and you have a reaction channel? Don't you think there's an entire niche market of you reacting to?
Well, he
negative
does
content about
now.
yourself?
Perhaps in the future, yes. Now that I'm doing that, it's only been in operation
He does
for a
now,
month.
but he
It's
only
something that I
reacts
was
to
considering
like
dabbling in.
the easiest, lightest targets that aren't criticizing him too harshly. That aren't like he reacts to like the detractor videos that are like the weakest, lamest ones. He won't actually react to anything actually calling him out or being critical of him in any sort of way.
The thing is, as I
He'll
there is
react
something
to
with
a
these
parody of
detractors, the
him
more
eating
attention you
fucking
give them,
ramen
just the
noodles
worse it gets.
instead.
It eggs them on to do more.
Even though
So my
Ludacris
opinion
has
is
made
people are
plenty
not
of
coming
actual
to my channel to
criticized
see this. They don't care
videos.
about that. They want to see gameplay. They want to see whatever. I don't want to inundate them with that stuff, so I don't address it.
Okay.
But maybe,
I was
maybe
going
it
to say a
would be
new
a
show
reaction.
idea, the Detractor Reactor.
Yeah, maybe that should be something we do. A whole
Pretty good.
show where I react to the detractor stuff.
I've given you 2 good show names so far.
I did
This is-
react to the original This Is How You Don't Play last year. So just we want to talking two sides of the fence of how it's completely unfair how I'm treated. The guy tried to take it off the internet, so I couldn't react to it. Everyone else had done it, but when I went to do it myself, no, you can't do that, Phil. Like, what are you talking about? It's fair use. You
Got to
take that.
download it. Got to download it next time.
Well,
So-
someone gave it to me, so.
Can we talk about that though, real quick? Have you ever tried to remove reactive content from
Yes, he has.
for your business that people have reacted from
Reactive content. So you're saying someone actually watching my content and reacting to it.
or posted or just posted clips of it?
The only time that I have tried to ever take anyone down was straight up ripping the raw.
This is this is a lie, dumbass. So, like, I think Shinko said this before or something, but he doesn't own his actual live stream. I want to really quickly preface this, and I'm not very good at explaining it like Shinko is, so definitely go watch Shinko for a better explanation. But yes, he does do his live stream, but then it's not left up on YouTube. He takes that off of YouTube and slices and dices and cuts it up because he leaves out segments. He leaves out, so it's like, oh, the podcast is one video. This is one video. This is one video. He doesn't leave up the entire actual live from start to finish live stream. So he doesn't technically own the start to finish full length actual live stream. He doesn't technically own that according to the law and according to YouTube itself because he doesn't leave that up. He slices and dices, like separates it into different segments. So Raw DSP or Raw Phil now or whatever it is, like they were in the legal right to repost the Raw live stream up because DSP doesn't technically own that because he doesn't leave the full unaltered, unedited live stream. He doesn't own that because he doesn't leave that up. He cuts out his begging segments. He cuts it all up. He posts it in segments. So, and then he unlists that video. And according to YouTube and copyright system, like, because it's unlisted, he shouldn't be allowed to copyright strike that, because that's not technically his content anymore, because he never left that up in the first place. So you shouldn't be allowed to copyright strike raw DSP or raw Phil. It's you abusing the copyright strike system doing that, Phil. So that's like, you shouldn't be allowed to even take that down. Not to mention the fact that we do know that you've taken down other YouTubers before.
Raw content.
And more than just the little ones that we've seen of yours, too.
The moment that someone's
You've copyright struck AJ before, Evil AJ before.
Everyone does it. There's a judge that made a ruling on that. The only way that really legally you should be able to take anything down is if they just right now, if they rip this raw podcast from side scrollers and put it on their channel, no context, no commentary, that's illegal. Everything else is fine. So no, I've never tried to do that at all.
Bullshit.
Anything that's reactive content or reacting content like that. No.
So I understand that, right? And
you were trying to take down This Is All You Don't plays all the goddamn time, and those who were like crazy original and on what's the right word? Not reactive. He just said it. Those are like really original and really not different. You know what I mean?
Correct, right? But this goes back to, like, this is the internet, and the internet. I know that people are going to take this episode, and like, if I'm sure Gundam and Keem and all sorts of people are going to go and they're going to make content based off of this content. But ultimately, and we could get upset about that because legally, right? But ultimately, that's going to help the show. That will benefit side scrollers because more people know about side scrollers, right? So, I just feel like I've kind of zeroed in on what's happening. Like, Phil, the internet has changed, and you haven't necessarily changed with the internet over,
no, he's a fucking
the
dinosaur.
things that we talked about today, and
he hates being called a
so
dinosaur.
there's big
too,
opportunity
by the way.
for you to adapt and change with the internet. You've changed some formats, you've changed some, changed your content and such, but the internet still is adapting, and it's adapting literally exponentially fast, and it's something that needs to be done if you're going to be a relevant content producer online. And I don't know. I would just love to hear your thoughts on that. That's just a reoccurring theme that I've heard today.
Well, of course, what I'm going to say is, today I've changed, and I'm much.
No, you haven't.
That a million times
you haven't
show,
changed,
right?
Phil.
I really am trying to be
damn.
more receptive to criticism and being open. Like the React stuff I'm doing right now that I just started doing last month. That's something I was so against for so many years, and that's a running pattern with me. I'm stupid. I'm ignorant. I say dumb stuff. Then someone finally says, "Hey, Phil, wake up, stupid head. Check this out." And actually, there is some meaning to doing that. You can add context. You can add, your own perspective. You can make a React that's not just being.
But you take everything you react and turn it into something about you. Like, just because you're reacting to something doesn't always mean you have to like make it about your fucking self.
Content. And now
but you're a narcissist, so of course you're gonna do that.
I feel like I'm getting better at it.
You're not.
It's a work in progress. Just
you're
like everything
really
in
not.
life, and with any person who's trying to grow or evolve, it's a work in progress for me to become more open-minded. I'm
a 15-year work in progress. Any other successful fucking YouTuber, they've improved by leaps and bounds in under a year. Hell, I would like to think that I've improved, and I've only been doing this for 3 or 4 months. And I've already learned a lot more about OBS, about streaming in general. And you can I've probably learned more in the last 3 or 4 months than Phil has in his entirety on YouTube at this point.
I feel I'm a lot better at walking in other people's shoes.
And I'm
now.
still
I'm
nowhere near good enough. I still have a lot more to learn.
You're right. I need to adapt and be open-minded to change in the future. Correct.
Phil, I gotta say, it took a lot of balls to come on the show and handle the questions.
If anything, that's the one actual positive thing I hear is that Phil never gives up. Phil is the unbreakable rock that the waves crash against, and he's still gonna be here at the end. You know what I'm saying? I
that's
put up with all of it.
That's because you're too stupid to be canceled.
Anywhere,
that's
I'm gonna
why.
keep making content. I'm not gonna give up on it. I love it. It's my passion.
No, you don't. No, it isn't.
And I'm happy
lying
here with
sack
you
of
guys,
shit.
be honest with you as much as I could. You know, thank you. You guys were great hosts. I know it sounds like we're ending now. It was a great, great opportunity at least to get my perspective out there. Thank you.
Well, and we appreciate you coming on. We still got a few more minutes because I want Adam to be able to get food. But is there anything that you feel that you need to touch on before we leave, before we part today? Is there
There's so much. I mean, we could go on for hours and hours. The things people have said about me grooming my ex-girlfriend.
Is
so
that what you want to
ridiculous.
focus on, though? He asked you specifically. Is there anything that you want to bring up?
Okay, well, let's do this. Phil, would you be open to coming back on again?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Cool. We could do like a part 2 and just kind of hit on more of those things, right? Because I want to be conscious of everybody's time. All right. Well,
imagine in a different timeline there actually was a second part,
right? And
there was an actual second interview. Imagine that.
2. But in the meantime, what is the one thing that
in a parallel reality somewhere maybe?
Today?
Oh my gosh.
Well, the first thing you just said was that groom and shit. Like, what's up with that? Because I don't like it.
It's blatantly false. It's my ex I met. She contacted me. I never contacted her. She contacted me via YouTube DMs when they were a thing. That's how long ago this was, over a decade ago. She was an adult, a legal adult. We spoke for months before we ever started dating. People say I met her when she was like 16 and I groomed her for years. I never even spoke to her until after she was 18. It's a complete and bold-faced lie, okay? Another thing. I'm sorry that I have to bring this up, but I talked with my wife.
Oh yeah, I'm super sorry I brought this up, but
I'm some kind of
my wife,
woman abuser, and basically I groom these women and I bring them into my, to my personal life. My wife and I met online, casually talking for a few months before we ever started dating.
How's that OBS problem doing, Kat?
Basically, she was in a really bad place in her life, an abusive relationship. She got out of that relationship, and once she did, then we started talking a little bit more romantically, and then things pursued. People made stuff up and said that I basically stole her from her ex and that he's a victim. It's funny because when you look on the internet, they will find all this public information about me and my personal life. They'll find my bankruptcy. They'll find all these statements. Did you ever find the restraining order that she had against her ex because he was hitting her? Right? But, make him look like a good guy on the internet, right? Which is what they've done. My detractors have actually done.
I mean, compared to you, he was probably better than you.
It has nothing to do with me or my content. Stop.
I don't really know enough about that.
That's one thing. Leave my family, leave my everyone out of it. Make fun of me.
You just brought her up, though, dumbass. Like, the whole reason people doxed her in the first place was because you were issuing a challenge online to beat the trolls. And I dare every troll to find any information on it, because you can't. And like 5 minutes later, they find all this information about it. Because you brought it up. You laid down the challenge. You keep bringing these things up. And then people are like, okay, well, bet. And then they go and check it and find it.
Put the brunt on me. It's one of my biggest regrets as a content creator. I never meant for anyone to get hurt doing this. Never.
I meant to hurt them myself. I didn't want them to get hurt from other people.
My wife every day is feeling awful about things going on. Like,
and now what, you going to pretend to cry again?
She has nothing to do with any of this.
What, are you going to cry now? Come on, cry, baby. Cry for me.
All right? Just all this stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's a million other things. There'll be a part 2. We'll get to it then. But those are two things that have always been horrible to women. If anything, you will never, ever, 1,000,000%, you will never find someone
Zeke Heil, motherfucker.
In a sex scandal. Phil was abusive to women in the past. I have never.
Get your hand out of my face.
1,000,000%. But they want to say it, and it really irks me the wrong way. So.
I understand. All right. Well, look, I think this is a great place to stop. Like I said, let's definitely. I'll email you. I won't DM you. I promise. I'll email you, and we'll set up a part 2. I think that there's still a lot to cover, but I know that I speak for everybody when I say we appreciate your time, we appreciate your patience, we appreciate taking the time to allow us to kind of poke and prod. And I know you I had no intentions of this being like an interrogation interview. Hopefully, you didn't feel like it was an interrogation interview, but hopefully you feel like we're fair, because I feel like I said, I try to be fair to me, fair to whoever we're interviewing, and fair to the audience. So hopefully you feel that was the case.
I do. Ultimately, I would hope that once, we've had all these episodes of the interrogation, that I can just be a normal guest. I love you guys, man. I used to be a huge Screw Attack fan back in the day.
Not
anymore.
anymore.
We played a video 2 days ago of a MagFest where we're peeing on Shaq Fu. I was in that video. That's how long I've been a fan of Screw Attack. I just want to chill with you guys and have a normal show. I don't want your whole show to be the Dark Side Phil show.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get to that point. I love it for sure. Well, once again, if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We're going to end the stream here. Once again, make sure you guys subscribe for part 2. But we're going to continue with
before we end. Hold on, I just want to say to everyone who supported today, thank you so much. I don't know how we're gonna handle it. We've been going for 5 hours. This is I had no idea what to expect. It's pretty crazy, but I really do want to say thank you to everyone out there who, whether you know our show or not, this is like kind of like what they just said. It's not what our show is. We shoot the shit about video games, talk about weird cultural stuff. It's a lot of fun.
No, you mostly just talk about politics stuff.
I feel like Craig and Phil
and have a lot of like
Craig wanted to give
bigots
Phil
on your show,
a platform to basically, you know, make your piece. So I don't know when number 2 will be, but normally we read all our super chats throughout it, and it didn't feel appropriate to do that today because I'm sure there's a lot of them that are probably really good super chats, but there's probably a lot of them that are really would throw things to the side. We know about everything that is going on the internet. I feel like Craig did a fantastic job.
See, so yet again, Adam's over here saying, yeah, we're going to have another stream where we go over the super chats. It will be addressed, and like we'll respond to every single super chat post-show. And still, DSP never got it.
Together. That was his journalism degree, by the way. I mean, fantastic. He actually used it for the first time in his life. Congratulations, by the way, Craig.
All right, nice.
So thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate you all. All right, please continue, Craig.
Yeah, and once again, we're going to continue with our post show over on. And Phil, you can bounce whenever you like. But we're going to
stick around, man. Listen, support good people making good content. These are good people. Your other hosts are good people. I would love to do a post show with you guys too if you want. I'm here.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we'll continue the post show over there, over at patreon.com/sidescrollers. You guys can go over there and support the show there. We appreciate everybody popping in. I hope that you guys come back tomorrow. That's the big thing. You can have a great show, but I want to see you guys tomorrow and join this amazing little positive community we have going on over here. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button on your way out. Mark it on your calendar every Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. So with all that said, remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. I'll see you guys later. Twitch, we're going to say goodbye to you now. Goodbye. Fatality. And all our friends over on YouTube, we'll see you guys over on patreon.com/sidescrollers. So with that said,
was I too early?
It was too early, but not too gone. We're about to finish now. So bye-bye. There we go. Lots of fatalities. Good. All right,
my wife came in the room and
my wife. I don't know, my wife, guys. I want to see if I can find that. How long? Oh, it's only 16 minutes. We'll do that too.
Phil, I hope
So this is the Patreon exclusive post show. This wasn't the one they did the day after. This was not the one they did the day after. This was like the last 15 minutes of the show that was Patreon exclusive. So I'm gonna finish it up by going over this super quick because it's only 16 minutes long, and then I'm gonna get out of here to get something to eat. So let's
wasn't too brutal with you, man. I'm just an honest straight shooter. So
you guys, I have zero issue with how that went. Zero.
Oh, yeah. For now, wait till tomorrow.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna bring Travis in here. Trav, how are you, buddy? How's the chat today?
Oh, he's.
Oh no! Travis
it was fucked up.
Oh god!
It was
your mic is really loud too, Trav.
Oh, sorry.
Do we have any bannings today?
Oh my god!
Did we?
Does that sound better?
Phil, have a good one, man.
Thanks, Adam.
Don't take anything. Try to see the good things that what happened today, because like even with Keem, like it really does feel like he was trying to help you, and like I know that.
So enter the tokens, everyone. Enter the tokens. We got the token gay and we got the token woman. The token woman is a proper good woman who never talks and is white and likes Harry Potter. So it's the perfect conservative ideal of a woman. And we got the token gay who sells out his own community. So gotta love them. Yeah, hold on. I know which one you're talking about, I think. Because I just watched it the other day. Just go to this one here. It's I already reacted to this myself. But if you want the raw, just go to heel versus babyface on YouTube, and Az reacts to DSP reacting to Az's viral Starfield rant. Spoiler alert, he doesn't actually react to DSP reacting to his rant. He just kind of dunks on DSP a lot. So I kind of thought that was kind of shitty that, like, he didn't actually even react to the DSP's actual reaction of his Starfield pronoun rant. He just dunked on DSP for a little bit. I mean, it still was entertaining enough and was fun. But yeah, so if you want, just go to heel versus babyface, and this is the raw. It's only 10 minutes long. But yeah.
Wants to help you, and I'm brutally honest, but I was also trying to help you. So I hope you see that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Trav, great job in chat, and Blabs, great job on the media. You guys, freaking great show today. Seriously.
Have a good
Good
night.
job, guys.
All right.
Hi, Phil.
Trav, I don't
Later.
envy
I'll
you.
see you
Oh, she
tomorrow.
actually
I
talked.
go
I'm
through
surprised.
it every day on my own streams. I know exactly what you're going through right now. It's like hell on earth. Lots of respect for holding it down, man. I know. And Blab, it's good to meet you. Good to meet both
Hi,
of you
nice
guys.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It was a lot of work today.
You guys did great. If you guys are just popping in over at Patreon, thank you guys very
And
much.
I never
Really
got
appreciate,
the whole
your
like
support
background
and,
he's trying to use.
so-
Like, what
so
is he
Phil,
like? Oh, I'm a
let's kinda do
fighter. I
little,
got these things and
decompression here.
a royal
Like,
chair of some sort.
when
Too
with
much.
Keem hopping on,
Trying too
how
hard.
did you feel about that? I mean, obviously there was angst there.
Yeah, I did watch Adam's recent video reacting to DSP's response. It was pretty good too. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Adam Craig, but like it was still a decent video though. I watched it on YouTube. Yeah.
You know,
As
and I
long as
appreciate
I'm
she
not
was
gonna
be-
do a react to that because it's not worth it. But also, Duty Streams has a good basic summary of it too. If you don't want to watch the whole 1 hour. Of
Respectful,
it.
I didn't care, and that's the thing.
But
is
I
a lot
watched
of
the whole
times
thing. It was
he is the guy who's so vocal, trying to cause drama constantly because he feels that's content. I don't like that. I don't like that kind of content.
But you do
So
the
when he
same
doesn't
shit.
Understand that by doing the way that he tried to contact me, it immediately turns me off. Like, you have to read the room. Phil's already someone who's harassed by so many people on the internet. Why would you then try to, you know what I mean? Like, if he just went a normal way, like you had contacted me very nicely through an email, let's have a couple conversations back and forth, maybe the door would have been open. Maybe I would have considered it. But when the first interaction I have with that guy is something like that, where he's going to yell on his Twitter like I'm a jerk. He
See,
threatens me on Twitter, which I didn't
immediately-
bring up. He threatened me and said,
Immediately
"This
he
content
goes right
now,
into
just-"
shitting on Keemstar. Right after the post, like, this is the Patreon exclusive post show that they did for like 15 minutes directly after the interview. And he's already fucking talking about them. Yeah, he has some kind of like weird ass fucking BDSM bullshit going on. He has like stacks of pizza and like whips and chains and fucking ninja weapons behind him. I'm like, okay, Trav, sure, you're a fucking ninja.
$50,000
Gotcha.
off the table. I'm
Like,
how
I
is
don't
that
know.
a professional way to approach someone? You know,
Right.
So, but I'm okay with him coming out. Listen, I told you I would answer anything. I'm down for it all, man. I'm a transparent dude. I
Sure
would
you
be
are,
as
Phil.
honest
You're
as I
so
can. I'm not
transparent.
afraid of nothing. People want to, you know, I've been through so much shit.
Transparent like
Go
mud
ahead.
or
Bring
grease,
anyone on the
maybe.
Yeah, and I could see how somebody coming at you like that might be a bit abrasive, you know what I mean? If you didn't know the context of what they were saying.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was going to ask me for. I had no clue what this was about. Maybe it was. Actually, I thought it was boxing. I thought originally I heard he was starting up his boxing ring or whatever. And
And I
had
don't
no
want
interest
to
in doing
give
that.
the benefit of the doubt to Trav because he's an idiot. But up until this point, like, Trav doesn't know anything about DSP. So he's willing to give DSP the benefit of the doubt because usually with normal people that you don't really know, you're willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. But DSP uses that to his advantage, and he should never be given the benefit of the doubt.
Or anything, you know. So, you know, he has to just all he has to do is have a civil conversation. It seemed too hard for him to do that. I don't get that. I really don't.
Based on
Oh, he'll
on
answer
the
anything, but
conversation
it's
that we
not
had
always.
today,
It's not going to be the truth at
do
all.
you-
It's
I mean,
mostly going to be
really,
lies.
Are you open to the
But it's
idea of
technically an
working
answer.
with Keemstar? Because that literally, it seems legitimately like a life-changing opportunity.
I don't know. Let me put it this way: it's never a definite no. That's stupid. I feel like in life, especially with the experience I've had over the last 15 years being a YouTuber, you see things change. Sometimes your eyes get open to certain situations. I've heard so much bad stuff about this guy.
I've heard a lot of bad stuff about you, Phil.
Hardcore fans. I'm not.
How is that any
detractors. I mean
different?
the people who actually support me on stream every day. They're like, dude, don't do it. You understand?
Well,
you're
you're
opening Pandora's box with this. You get involved.
well, that's your first issue is you listening to your dumbass dents. Maybe you shouldn't be listening to them in the first place.
Guy, it's like doing a deal with the devil. You don't know what the repercussions could be for you, your family, or your business.
That could be the same about you, dumbass. That's why no one of noteworthy actually wanted to do any sort of interview with you in the first place.
And I'm like, yeah, I hear it. I mean, yeah, payday like that? Damn, that would help so much. It would get me back on my feet at least most of the way. But do you really, it's like short-term gain, but the insane risk of long-term ruining things, I don't want to just be on the internet as the lolcow. I have my fan base. Will I lose my fan base if I embrace that lolcow culture like he wants?
Your whole 4 fans might.
Right.
I don't know, man.
But at the same time, don't you think there's an opportunity to further expand that fan base? I think there's a tremendous opportunity for you to reach a new audience that, you're talking about working with Boogie and Wings of Redemption and bringing all your audiences into one and potentially, growing your audiences together. I mean, one of the best ways to, there's Travis. One of the best ways to grow online is through collaboration.
I have no problem collaborating with Boogie or Wings at all. Zero.
Yeah,
I told Boogie this straight up. I would do it. I have no problem.
Yeah, but you don't understand that, like, 3 lolcows managing a podcast by themselves is never going to be successful. You need someone who's actually skilled at fucking podcast stuff to, like, actually make a really good, successful podcast. Someone who has notoriety, like Keemstar, who actually has experience making podcasts. But DSP in charge or making his own podcast, we've all seen how that goes, and it's not a very successful podcast now, is it?
Why can't we just do our own show? Why does Keem have to be involved? I mean, I understand he's a producer.
No, DSP literally fucking thinks that if I signed up for, like, he is the farthest thing from any sort of business professional. It's like, I swear he was sleeping throughout his entire college degree because he does not know what it's like to be in business at all. I don't either, to be fair. But it's like, he literally thinks that if he took the podcast with Keemstar would always hold that over his head as is like, you owe me this, you owe me that, because you were on my or because I gave you this money, I gave you this podcast, so you are always going to owe me forever and eternal servitude to me, Keemstar, because I gave you all these opportunities. So now that I gave you money, I own you. Even though he doesn't seem to understand what a fucking contract is. Like, obviously, like, the contract would probably limit it to just the fucking actual podcast itself. And outside of that, you don't owe him anything, I mean, but he's so fucking stupid. He doesn't understand what actual business stuff is like.
Up the production value a little bit, but what's the point of it? I'm sure if the 3 of us put our heads together, we could do our own show without him.
It would not be successful, though. No one would watch that.
Why it hasn't happened?
Nowhere near as much people would watch it as if
problem was with
Keemstar was in charge of it.
Right, but I mean, it's tough, right? Because once again, you are on a day-to-day basis. You are consistently, you have your goals to hit. A few $100s. You want to hit those goals with your audience, and but you have an opportunity that's literally life-changing money. But before you even start, 50 grand, like I guess the big question is, how much do you really despise Keem to look past that type of money?
Yeah, it really feels like it's a deal with the devil, right? Like, do I accept that I'm going to go into a
He's not a fucking devil, dumbass. He's not even nowhere near as bad as some of the other people.
Is going to benefit from me being a part of their content, and I don't know,
Like, you should see some of these, like, actual, like,
the whole conversation with my wife about it and everything, how it would help us so much, and at the end of the day, it was like, all right. I said to my wife, I said, at least if
yeah, exactly. But what was I gonna say?
he calls me, I'll
I
have the
lost it.
conversation with
Sorry.
him. I'm not going to say I'm going to do anything. Let's just have the conversation. And he couldn't even call me when I told him to. Like,
He
here's the
clearly did, and you just
I know
didn't
you
want to
he
answer
said,
the
she
fucking
said,
phone.
it's so stupid. But if you can't even go that first step,
Which one's the
make
she
the
and which
call
one's the
when I say,
he,
"Let's do
Phil?
it now." I mean, how can you
Because
take
you're
the guy
definitely the
serious?
she in that.
I feel like that would be a premise for how our
He
whole
said,
business
he said,
relationship
well,
would be
you're the
moving forward.
she, and he's
He'd
the
be
he
fully
then,
in
if that's the
control.
case.
My whole life has to be dictated by this lolcow podcast because whenever he wants it, I got to drop everything to answer to Master Keemstar, who now owns me. I
You
don't
see
like
what
it,
I mean?
Okay, I'm my own guy. I run my own business. It's part.
He always has to be the one in charge. He can't handle someone else being in charge. That's why he will never get a real actual job. Because he thinks he knows better than anyone fucking else. So he can't answer to anyone else. That's why he didn't fucking take the podcast. And if he and Boogie and Wings tried to do it by themselves, he would take control of that himself. Because he knows he can. That's why he didn't fucking
I want
do
it to
it.
be part of my business, not my whole thing. Seems like that's what it would have been if I involved myself with him.
Well, with any sort of podcast, you know, I just think of like.
Oh yeah,
Wayne's
he's
talking about
definitely going to
the,
regret not
you know,
taking
potential
this money.
potential upside of it.
Even though he would have wasted
No,
all that money
there's certainly
anyway.
responsibilities with any business relationship, and I think if those are, you know, I understand your trepidation of wanting to hold off on, you know, wanting to make sure things are in writing. I totally understand that, right?
Yes.
But in any business conversation, it starts with a phone call, and not everything needs to be in writing, you know. And I hope that, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but I hope that's something that you learn from here, because that's how the internet moves now. The internet has changed, and it is all boom, 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 DMs
Sure.
and text and all that. And I understand your perspective of him calling during your stream. I understand that.
Like,
but
he doesn't understand
seems like
how
there's-
contracts work. Like, you look at the music business or the movie business, and like you have these agents, and they like, or these not agents, these like music production managers or contractors or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know their actual name, the proper name for the title, but like they'll take advantage of people, but they still are under contract. So like, as long as you don't break the contract or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, they're way worse people to do business with than fucking Keemstar, is what I'm trying to say. Like, now if you're trying to go into the music business, and you get a contract, yeah, you sign the contract, so you have to obey what it says on the contract. Like, so like one podcast a week or a month or whatever, I don't know how often this would have been. But it's like, yeah, you would have had to fucking have been, well, not subservient, but you would have had to obey the contract that you would have signed, and he doesn't want to do that.
too much tremendous upside to ignore that call.
Again, if it was anyone else but Keem, maybe I would have actually cared a little more.
No.
It's someone I already have a negative association in my head with. I don't really want to work with this guy. You know, it's like, of all the people on the internet to offer me this, it has to be him. Really? It had to be him? Really? Anyone else?
Because no one else has that kind of money. No one else is willing to give you $50,000, Phil. Literally no one else. You're never going to get an opportunity to get $50,000 from one person ever again, Phil. No one else is willing to give you that fucking chance. And you blew it because you're a fucking idiot.
It has to be him. The guy who I actually have issues with.
But
And this is why LTG was so talking about the fucking 50,000 bands or whatever, because most people can't understand like how most people just can't believe how stupid you were not to take that money.
but your assumptions of your issues though are based off of your assumptions.
I saw that one. It was Shinko. I was watching Shinko go over that whole Machinima marathon that DSP did. And DSP didn't want to do actual fucking work that he was supposed to do. He's like, well, they pissed me off, so I'm just not going to provide any content for the whole month or some bullshit like that, right? And I'm like, you signed the contract to make content for them. They were your boss, and you didn't want to do any actual fucking work. You lazy fuck. Like, that's why you signed up with them, and they give you the money for it. He was such an ungrateful piece
based
of
off
shit.
of things that you've seen about him. right? In documentaries, as opposed to, you know, once again,
He
it goes
probably
back
would have been
to,
even worse for Keemstar.
you know, people make assumptions
He would have
about
probably
Phil as
left to
well,
stop doing it.
and you know,
I
whether
totally
they're true or
understand
not.
that. I totally understand that, and everyone has a right to have a subjective judgment that they can make about people on the internet based on how they behave, how they see. What I've found is that people who
So keep that in mind. And the vast majority of people online's internet that does know you, their subjective opinion is you're a lying, scamming piece of shit. Because you are. And we have evidence to back that up. You don't have any evidence to defend yourself with. This whole interview had vibes of just trust me, bro. I'm stealing Adam's thing. But it's like, it literally is that, though. It's literally just trust me. No. I can't actually provide evidence to help you guys trust me. Just trust me. I can't defend myself in any fucking way. Just trust me, guys. I'm right.
Tell me, wow, that is so different than how you're portrayed on the internet, right? Keem, pretty much how he's portrayed in a lot of this stuff is what his stuff is, you know? And that's okay. Some people just don't have issue with it.
You
that's
don't even
fine.
know.
If you like drama content, love it. Go for it. I'm not here to tell you not to like someone or their content, but I'm going to tell you if I don't like it.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I don't like that drama
Like
stuff.
I said, he would not have finished that podcast. He would have, like,
business. You're
quit.
hurting or wallowing in the misery of others and promoting it further just to make a buck on their back, right? I hate that stuff. So I know
do that
that's what he
all the
does.
fucking time, though,
Phil.
Phil.
I know that's what it is. I don't like that. So there's
You
a
do
difference
it
between
all the
here's
time.
a bunch of negative stuff about Phil.
Oh,
but
but
if you
I can't
actually
get
watch his
paid
content,
for
it's
people
different than
making
what people
fun of
say.
me.
You go to drama
I'd
alert, you know what
rather
you're getting. You've seen it already a million times.
Not get paid at all
Right.
for people making fun of
And
me.
I understand that, but do you think that his drama alert was the baseline that allows him to do these other things? You know, like everybody receives their funding in different ways, right? He made money with drama alert. Then
And DSP made money by being a total asshole on YouTube and making Nazi jokes on Blip TV and being a super racist piece of shit. So how is that any different from fucking Keemstar? You both started out as like raging assholes online, right? Theoretically, according to him. So you're not any fucking better.
use that money.
You like to pretend that you changed or whatever. And yeah, your content's a little less raunchy now than it was before, but you still both started at the same fucking
to
place.
generate more money through other lines of business.
And now
right?
you're just a cuck, so how is that
And
any
I
better?
think that's kind of the bigger thing. You know, I don't think, and it didn't sound like the podcast would be built around the idea of
He's addicting to begging, basically. He knew that he wouldn't be able to keep begging for tips and for all the shit. Like, he wanted to keep continuing to beg his fans for money. And he knew he would have really wouldn't be able to justify keep continuing to beg for money if they all knew that he got $50,000.
you know, really built around the idea of talking about drama.
Yeah,
He
that
just
was
more
fucking
or less wanted to
bullshit.
get you three together. And,
What was
and
that,
then
on, like,
from a business
President's Day or
perspective,
something? And he
he
was
could help
upset he
monetize
didn't
it,
get
which
his paycheck
ultimately
or
would
some
put more money
bullshit.
in your pocket.
Like,
I mean,
you guys
Just the
should just
name of
go
the
out
show,
and
the
get a
lolcow
fucking
cast,
job.
whatever
And I'm
you
like,
wanna
what
call
about
it, the
you,
name is
motherfucker?
insulting.
You're the first
The name
person to get a
itself is
job.
insulting. It's meant to be, but he wants us to roll with that, right? Take that insult against you, own it. Roll
I'm
with
not
it,
saying
profit.
you should
I'm
go
not
and
that
get a
kind of
job,
person.
or it's an
I
ongoing
want to
joke
make
that everyone's
meaningful
saying you should
content
go
that's
and get a
not- I have to
job.
roll with all the drama
But
people
maybe
push
you
at me.
should
I
get
don't
a
wanna be
fucking
Mr. Drama.
job.
I never wanted to be Mr. Drama. People created that drama around me when I was
Or
literally
stop
right here
fucking
on my
bitching
stream just
about
doing
your
my own
income
thing
all
every
the
day.
time then.
All that stuff's outside of my
And
streams.
stop
You won't even
begging
see
so
that
much.
stuff on my streams.
Blabs, what do you think of all this? You did a great job today. Excellent job.
Oh yeah, here we go. An
I was
outsider.
like going back and forth.
Blabs was doing social media today, and she killed it.
A scrambled brain, I would bet. After that, huh? Like, holy crap!
Yeah, that was wild, I'll say, and like, props to you guys for going for 5 hours straight. I didn't even expect to go that long. I thought we were gonna go for like 2 hours. This is cool. Let's do it again.
I suspected, and that's why I knew with all the stuff that's said about me, one episode would not be enough. And I'm again, Craig, Adam, so professional, and I appreciate that, and that's why I want to come back because I really trust you guys. I do.
Yeah.
Well,
That
I
didn't
appreciate
last
that,
long,
man.
did
And,
it?
like
I
I
really
said,
trust you guys.
I think
Fuck
specifically
Adam,
with interviews,
fuck
I mean,
Craig.
I think it's something that
They just didn't
you have to
listen
do
to
your
me
research.
at
You
all,
have to try to handle it
guys.
from all
Even
sides,
though,
and I appreciate
even though
you.
they told him to his face, they didn't believe him multiple times on multiple different things. I don't believe you. Oh, that's fine, and you don't have to believe me. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to believe me. But then he's like, "Well, they didn't believe me. It was bullshit." And I'm like, "Well, they
You
told
say
you
the
to your
nice
face
things,
they
man.
didn't
It's
believe you."
you know, this was a lose-lose situation for potentially
Everybody.
for everybody, right? But I do feel like I do think that the person who could potentially stand to gain the most is ultimately you. And I really
didn't,
really do
though.
believe that just from being honest and such. So, but anyways, I think that that's really important. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know where to go, man. I'm excited to go. Like Adam was talking about not eating. I haven't had any food all day either. But I've been powered through Gatorade and lemonade. Have you? I don't know. Like let's
Can I
definitely figure
do
out a time.
something? Can I do something really silly that I wanted
Of
to do the whole
course.
show?
Oh no. Oh no, guys. Chat. Oh no, chat. This is where it gets bad. This is where it gets cringy. I will say that. This is super fucking cringy. And while this is going on, just look at Blabs' eyes. Like, see her reaction when this happens, okay? Definitely, it's so fucking bad.
Of course.
I'll do this for the patrons, the guys who support your show, which is
Please.
the day that Darksydephil appeared on.
Well, I'm doing a live stream now. But yeah, I do want to do more live streams where it's like I catch up on the videos and stuff. It's just like I'm trying to find a good balance of like doing actual videos and then doing live streams. And it's like it's kind of hit and miss because I want to like do live streams so I can like I don't know, talk to everyone and be interactive, dude. But I also like the format of videos too, so it's like I'll have to like mix it up. But it's like I will do more video or more live streams though in the future. I'm still learning with live stream a bit too. So it's like I'm still kind of learning the ropes of streaming as opposed to
Your show, Side
videos.
Scrollers, was probably one of the most momentous things that you'll always remember. But for me, it was Thursday.
Oh,
Look
there we
at
go.
her.
Oh, that's a bison cap.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
Look,
exactly what it is. You've seen this in pictures, right? And people say, it's a Nazi cap. No, it's
Okay.
an M. Bison replica hat that I wear when I played
Look
Street
at
Fighter.
Craig's
and stuff.
face,
So what do
he's
they
like,
say? He's a Nazi.
"Geesh."
Right? It's like, come on, man.
Once again, Phil, come on, dude. It looks way like, come on, dude. You got like
You know I had to do it. I had to bring it on the show.
that, and that's
blinking
fine. But
all the time,
having
like,
never
what
seen, I've
the
seen
fuck?
pictures of you in that, and
Yes.
it's like, it's one of those things. But so seeing it now, geez, it's tough, man. Like, dude, drop the hat. I'm telling you right now, drop the hat. Drop it. Just get rid of the hat.
She's
You
just
don't-
nodding. She's like, yeah, get rid of that shit.
No,
Yeah.
I don't wear it often anyway. I really don't. It's very rare when I bring it on because you can tell the trolls want it. That's what.
Or if we're talking like live streaming in terms of like restreaming, I don't really like doing restreams because it's like it's so boring. I like unless I just do a restream of his podcast, maybe. But I definitely do not think I'm entertaining enough or have the energy to restream an entire stream of his. But I tend to like when I am live streaming, I like to either like I like go over this or go over past things that happened or catching up on videos and stuff like that, or maybe doing some about his pre-stream podcast or something like that too.
What they want. They want that.
I can't. I don't have the
Oh,
stamina to make it through a restream. But yeah, no, exactly. You're right, Eevee fan. Though it's like, no, there's not this whole 5.5 hours. He has not fucking snorted or coughed or once. Not once. Ow, that fucking hurt. He hasn't done that once at all. Like he can control it when he wants to. Same thing with the the bankruptcy call. He didn't snort one time on there, so he can control it. He just cares not to when he's actually streaming or whatever.
Oh, Travis. Let's see. Travis is in real quick. Blabs, did you have anything else? Do you wanted to? We got an extra 15 minutes, which is great. But I mean, Blabs.
You should get rid
Blabs,
of that
Travis,
fucking hat.
What did you guys?
Because that was so cringy.
I'm still processing, to be honest. Come
It might
back
take
to
a
me.
few weeks. By the time the next show happens, it'll finally process.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
won't
it
happen.
was a busy day. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I hope you guys did well. I really hope that there was support for the show because you guys put out a great product. I've watched every episode.
You hope they had a lot of support, huh? Well, that changed within
At the
24
very least,
hours
with all the
then, huh?
drama you guys have been over for 2 weeks now because of me, that at least something positive came out of it. So,
Well,
see how
we
fast you
appreciate it,
change your
man.
mind on
It was a really eventful day for sure. I very much look forward to the next time we get together and talk. I think that it'll be just as anticipated. I will, I think that there are detractors who would love to ask you questions similar to Gundam, and there's a lot of.
But I'm just imagining if, like, in a parallel alternate reality somewhere, we actually got the second part of this interview, what that would be like.
People have questions that are very, very nitty gritty, like super, like there's this DSP and then there's these things. And then there's like these little tiny, like little things that 3 people care about. Right. And I feel it'd be interesting to kind of have some of those questions answered as well. But I'm really proud of the show. I'm proud of you, Phil. I'm proud of you for coming in.
Do you like this thing with the 2 tokens here that aren't really talking a whole lot, aren't really giving much input or anything? They're literally there. He's here. He's in the Side Scrollers podcast, so they can't be accused of being homophobic at all because he's gay. He claims to be gay, but he always shits on his own. He always like throws his own LGBT community under the bus. And then we got the token white chick here who doesn't really talk a whole lot at all. Doesn't really do anything to contribute to the podcast.
Like I said, I think if nobody can say you ducked a challenge.
And please, well, I'll bring it up after.
I think that we asked hard questions today. You answered them as best as you possibly could in the way you know how to answer them. Travis, do you have anything else before we wrap?
Yeah, I'll say this from all the things that people were saying on Twitter, that you won't show up, you were getting paid, you knew the questions, it was everything.
I wasn't
that
expecting Keen.
yes.
That was a shock.
Yeah, well, us too.
You know, of all that, none of that's true. This was on the fly. Clearly, you saw me mess up on the fly. Keem showed up
And we were
on
live.
the fly, and we are live. Yes.
Twitter was telling me we weren't live, and it was all previously recorded. And I was like,
Yeah, well, you got to see me fuck up live. So
Yeah. But it was wild. It was fun, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much for your time. And I think we did some good today. You talk about doing good. I think I do think we did good today, and I think you did good today, Phil. So so I'm gonna wrap it there for our post stream over on Patreon, guys. Hopefully you guys come back, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Genuinely appreciate your support and coming over and
Phil
supporting
will see
us.
you guys tomorrow. That's
The stream. Genuinely appreciate it. Thank you guys very much, and we will see you guys later on. I'm gonna kill the stream now. Watch the full 5-hour Darksydephil interview and hit the subscribe button in the center of your screen to never miss a live episode of Side Scrollers Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time.
So definitely, I recommend you guys go and check out the debate King Sly had versus Trav from Side Scrollers. It was so fucking good. Because fucking Sly roasted his fucking ass. And you just see how much of a fucking lolcow Trav is on his own. Like, he is, like, full-blown, like, in denial lolcow. It's fucking great. So I do recommend you guys go check that out. Okay, so this is all. I still have all these videos to catch up on. So I don't know if I'm going to make this be like a different stream maybe tomorrow or the next day, or if I'm just going to make a video and do that. But this is my playlist so far. So we still got a lot to catch. I still have a lot to catch up. That's basically. I have a lot to do still because I'm still far behind. And then on top of that, there was that like baby man rage that Phil had. What was it? Like, well, he was like having a bad day, and Street Fighter 6, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? He had a bad day and he was like had a mini freak out and rage quit or whatever. I got to go over that as well. Yeah, it's like I don't watch them regularly. Side scrollers, I don't really watch them regularly. And on top of that, it was like there's supposed to be a video game channel, or video game podcast, but all they're doing is like political garbage. I'm like, that kind of sucks. But yeah, so I'm gonna head because I have to go and grab something to eat. I'm getting a little hungry here. And I did just finish editing an actual DSP music video. So I'm going to work on getting that uploaded, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I thought it was kind of funny, but just, I don't know, maybe, we'll see. Hopefully you guys will like that. I do appreciate you guys being in the chat and actually talking to me. I do like that. So thank you guys for being here and watching. Thank you, all the silent majority guys who's going to be watching this later on. For retro's sake, I'm already subscribed to you, actually. So I do watch some of your streams. It's pretty good. And I'll see you guys later, all right? Thanks for stopping by.